Good evening and welcome into a Brevard Sports Network presentation of Friday Night Lights. We're here live from the campus of Heritage High School, where the Panthers will play host to the visiting Rockledge Raiders here in this 2026 Kickoff Classic. Hi everyone, Brian Kelly here, joined alongside Chris Bonanno and Caleb Brown on our camera and tech tonight this evening. Caleb, it's a pleasure to have you back in the booth after all you've been through. And Chris, we're here for a good one tonight between two teams that met in this Kickoff Classic last year and delivered an all-timer. We're hoping for something similar like that again tonight. What are your expectations coming in?
Yeah, if we get a game half as good as last year, we'll be in for a treat here. Last year, Heritage winning 37-34. In fact, we should. We'll get to this point, and then the anthem's going to come up. But yeah, it's two of the more intriguing teams that have gone through some transition in the offseason that we'll get to. For Heritage, an exciting new quarterback, Christian Borhe, transferring in from New York, 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And for Rockledge, well, there has been a lot of talk, a lot of transfers over the last bit of the offseason here. But there's still a healthy group of Raiders out there and a really good coaching staff. So what's great is we talk and talk and talk for months, and we get to find out the answers to our questions beginning tonight.
Exactly. We finally get to put the pads on the field, and we'll get back to a bit of more of a pregame show in a minute. First, we'll do the intros and the anthem. Speaking of this Heritage team, Chris, they lost a lot of firepower last year. Jordan Padala, senior quarterback, graduated. And then let me read this off for you here because it's quite the impressive resume here. Nathaniel Owens led the team in receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, total touchdowns, and interceptions. How do you possibly replace a guy like that?
Well, it's next man up mentality, right? And we got a two-headed running back monster here, Drayvon Lee, as well as Ezeal Johnson, who's back from South Carolina after a year. Those two combined for almost 900 yards rushing last year. So when you've got experience in the backfield, if not here, that's exciting.
Yeah, and then you also got senior transfer quarterback Christian Borhe, who will wear the number 9 this year. Again, he's coming from New York, 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, like you said. Exciting new faces here for Heritage as they look to not rebuild, but more so reload.
Yeah, there's reasons for optimism here at Heritage. As the colors are being marched out here to midfield, we'll just lay out here for just a second.
Beautiful presentation of the colors there as we wrap up this intro segment. About 5 minutes to kick off here. Now, we talked a little bit about this Heritage squad. Let's go back to Rockledge now. What do they have to do tonight to score it doesn't count to the Records Kickoff Classic, but what do they have to do to score an impressive victory over Heritage tonight?
Well, I think they're going to lean on their experience, and the name that you'll hear is Michael Gonzalez. He's their senior. We talked a lot about who's left. Well, Gonzalez is back, and with 30 receptions, 450 yards, and 6 touchdowns last year. That's a good place to start offensively for the Rockledge. I'm excited to see Carter Kemmerly. He's a big, strong young man here in warm-ups. They were working a lot out of the pistol. He looked like he had a pretty good arm on him, and sort of thrust into the starting role. Let's see how he does in his first start.
Absolutely, and these two teams just mere moments away from kickoff. Again, football is back. You can feel it in the air again. Doesn't count towards the records, but it's still good to get the pads on, kind of use the Kickoff Classic as a chance to tweak your strategies and use it as a litmus test going forward throughout the season.
Absolutely. Both teams with tough tests next week in week 1. And this will feel a lot like a regular season game.
Absolutely.
The cool thing, this is not like the NFL preseason where it's barely watchable. This is exciting, like it was last year. So next week, Rockledge is going to be at Vieira in a rematch of a 22-21 game. And next week, Heritage starts a really tough opening stretch to their season. They're going to host Melbourne, and then they host O'Galley. So any kinks you want to get out,
Absolutely.
This is the night tonight to do it.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say all the kinks, you got to work them out now because it counts for real next week. But again, two very exciting teams who faced off at a Kickoff Classic last year, again, came down to the very bitter end. We can only hope for a game as good as this. Two teams looking to kind of bounce back. Both had losing records, Rockledge 3-8, Heritage 4-7, but they still held their own in the district, and they're kind of looking to build upon that into a solid, better season.
Yeah, a bit of a strange way to evaluate it, right? Two losing records, 2 playoff teams because they played such tough schedules, right? So you look at Heritage, okay, they beat Westwood. That's a good football team. They're going to need to do it again this year in their district. Rockledge had such a meat grinder of a schedule as well. They do again this year as well. We'll get into their district. But certainly a bit of a misnomer. Both teams fell in the first round of the playoffs. Heritage going at Aquinas, that is what it is, and Rockledge and Zephyr Hills as well. But there are playoff streaks that both schools would obviously like to continue. Heritage has been there 3 straight years, Rockledge 9. So when we talk about recent success, here are 2 of your teams right here.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're kind of looking to translate that success into a bit of a higher ceiling this year as here come the Panthers.
And we've talked a lot about these 2 teams. One thing that is absolutely wonderful to hear, you probably can hear it in the background, the Heritage High School Band is worth the price of admission alone. We don't know if they're performing at halftime. They're not dressed for it, but just their sound is awesome. Consistently one of, if not the best bands in Brevard County year in, year out.
Well, that's one of the best parts of Friday Night Lights is the band. The atmosphere really doesn't feel like a Friday Night Light football game without the band.
Absolutely. You're spot on there, and it's just exciting. I know for many of our viewers, it's probably the first time they've watched a football game since the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Welcome. Football's back, y'all. Football is back. And Heritage, it'll be interesting to see. I got the privilege to cover a couple of games last year. A theme I kind of noticed with them is they had a lot of opportunities missed in the red zone or on defense, etc. It'll be interesting to see if they tweak that in the offseason, maybe potential for more capitalization when they get down to the nitty-gritty.
Well, we've talked about, obviously, the new quarterback in Borhe and the 200 running back. They returned 3 starters on the offensive line. That's a big deal, and you have to think improved offensive line play leads to better red zone production. Just 15 points per game last year. So, it's one of those things, if they can get to 20 points a game, what does that look like as far as the win-loss record? Because Coach Mark Ainsley's defense is always going to be stout.
15 points per game to 24 allowed. That's not going to cut it. Almost outscored by a touchdown and a field goal, so definitely have to work on that this season. We're about ready to kick this off underway. Heritage will receive to start this ball game. A fresh 12 is on the clock. There's mere seconds away from football being back, ladies and gentlemen.
And I think this is actually one of the biggest parts of the week 0, if you will, special teams. Can you get the snap right? Can you make sure you block everybody? Can you cover a short kick here?
Kick is off to about the 20, and we are underway. Heritage returning. The ball is loose already. Who's got it? No signal yet.
Rockledge.
And it's Rockledge football, so right out the gate, like you said, special teams is important. And Heritage just muffed a early never mind, excuse me, it's pointing the other way. So crisis averted for Heritage there.
Yeah, well, one referee signaled it was Rockledge ball, and then that was quickly turned. By the way, before we get to anything more in the game, Caleb, it is amazing to have you back. And
yes,
if you were
absolutely.
in the booth, you would see that he corrected me as soon as I started talking. So I appreciate that, Caleb, and it is amazing to have you back in this broadcast. The community loves you.
It's great to be working with you again, Caleb. I'm glad you're still on the road to recovery, but it's a huge blessing to have you here, and we're glad you're here tonight. First snap of the game for the Panthers. Be just inside the 30. Be a pitch handoff.
That's the ball again.
The ball's loose on the ground. Will be Rockledge football this time.
This is Rockledge
It
ball.
is. It's Raider football. First play of the game. Rockledge already forced the turnover.
Yeah, it's week 0.
Yeah, I mean.
You know, your practice started 3 weeks ago, and ball security obviously is always going to be at a premium, but right away you can practice all you want. But in a game situation, obviously completely different. Just tried a quick pitch out to the right, and the running back couldn't quite corral it. And the Raiders now, we talked about red zone production. They are in the Cape Coast Volleyball red zone.
Yeah, we talk about working out the kinks. That's a pretty ball security. Like you said, he's definitely going to be a focus going forward. Rockledge gets to start up camp on the 18-yard line of the Panthers.
And for a program, honestly, that there's been a lot of, I want to say tumult, maybe negativity, that's a great start for them.
Absolutely. Cameron takes the snap, fakes the handoff, gives the handoff, cuts to the left, gets a few yards. That's going to be number 3, Karen Harris. Be second down at about 7.
Yeah, and honestly, early on, we'll probably know a little bit less about Rockledge than Heritage simply because of the turnover and what have you, and not a lot of returnees. But we did see them, again, warming up in primarily that pistol formation. We see that to start off. Positive gain on first down, sets up a manageable 2nd and 7.
Be 2nd and 7 from the 15. Cameron again will start in that pistol. Be Harris in the backfield. Takes a snap. Gives it to him again. Get 1 to 2, so now we're looking at a 3rd and 5. Kind of a bit of a manageable situation here. Where do you elect to go on this down?
Well, you've got experience coming back at the receiver spot. You think traditionally this would be a pass down on, let's call it 3rd and a long 6. But again, you had the turnover at the quarterback position. Do you run the ball and trust your kicking game? That'll be a question early on for Coach Holmes. You want to get 3 points on the board? You can go a number of different ways here.
Yeah, if Heritage can escape out of this with 3 points, it bodes well for their defense on the very first drive of the season. They're able to work with a short field and only force 3. Again, 3rd down and 6.
I mean, you would obviously, if you're Rockledge, like to get something on the board, because if you don't get anything of a red zone turnover, that's going to be a bit deflating. Might wonder if they're going to burn a timeout here.
Officially, it's a 3rd down and 7 on the 14-yard line. Got 2 in the backfield.
Yeah.
Whistles and first flag of the year. Looks like it's going against Rockledge.
And the coaching staff on the Rockledge sideline is less than enthused. Looked like they took a little bit of time getting out of the huddle. Again, we'll say it ad nauseum probably tonight. Week 0.
Yep. We're going to get a lot of those. We're going to get a lot of laundry on the field. We might get a few turnovers here and there. But, yeah, like you said, week 0, working out the kinks. So I'll back them up 5. Be 3rd and 12 on the 19. So.
And what was interesting there, it was a very conservative backfield on 3rd and 7. We'll see if that changes here as they go back to 4 wide receivers out of the pistol look once again.
3 down at the right of your screen, 1 at the top. Cameron jogs back, fires to his left, and that's going to be intercepted. Heritage gets the ball right back. Rockledge comes up empty-handed.
Yeah, I think that's one that Kemmerling would like to have back. It looked like he predetermined that read a little bit. He had single coverage, but it was great coverage out on the outside. Had his running back in the flat for a nice game, but 3rd and 11, first game, again, here you are. It's not the worst turnover in the world because now they're backed up inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, not at all, and I think the pass was a little low. If he put it a little bit more up there, receiver definitely could have got it. I believe that's Steve Estemy, number 5, with the turnover from number 8, Kenny Caballero, responsible for the turnover. But like you said, inside the 5, so Heritage going to have a long way to go if they want to cash this in for a touchdown. I believe it's going to be officially marked on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Caballero, one of the returnees that's being counted on for a big year, starting off his season strong, obviously with fantastic blanket coverage there on the outside.
So we're 58 seconds into this game, and we already have 2 turnovers. Dropping back a deep shot here early, and that one's a bit of a disconnect between the quarterback and receiver there on that one.
Yeah, it looked like King Royal out there who turned his route in. There's the miscommunication, as you referenced, and an aggressive play call there in the shadow of their own goalpost to go on 1st and 10.
Trying to take the top off the defense early. You have 3 wide receivers set at the bottom of your screen, 1 at the top, motion man. Another flag. One looks like it's going to be a neutral zone infraction against Rockledge.
And that's a killer because you're going to give them some breathing room here to run their offense, if that's in fact the call, and it is.
So we're just a little over a minute into the season. We got 2 penalties, 2 turnovers. So, I mean, hey, we can't say it enough. It is week 0.
Yeah, I mean, this is you're seeing a lot of why you have this game, right?
Yep, absolutely.
To work these things out because again, nothing beats game repetition.
Be 2nd and 5 on the 6-yard line. Bowie steps back.
Ball again.
Ball is out, and that's going to be they recover it in the end zone.
I think it's a
Rockledge touchdown, first touchdown of the year. Scoop and score for the Raiders.
It looked like Tay Harvey just recovering the ball at the back of the end zone right before. Would have been a safety, but it's a touchdown. And obvious ball security issues for the Panthers early as the Raiders take a 6-0 lead.
I mean, yeah, looked up, and then all of a sudden, big man's in the end zone. So Rockledge cashes in a way, up 6-0 here early, pending the extra point.
And we're going to have Grady Lightsey attempt the extra point now. Out of the hole from Matt Ford, so he's doing it all for the Raiders.
Snap, hold, kick is up, and it's blocked. Heritage gets all over that one.
No.
Whistle's blown, and it looks like the play's going to be blown dead, but big feather in the cap for this Heritage defense. Got a turnover and a blocked PAT.
Yeah, that one never really got the height to make it over. But still a very positive start for Rockledge. They'll take it, and it's 6-0 here. 10:47 to go early on in this one, and a program that maybe needed a bit of a jolt got one. Want to thank our sponsors here. Best Private Investigations. When you need answers, experience and discretion matter. Best Private Investigations provides accurate, timely information you can trust for child custody matters, suspected infidelity, background checks, asset investigations, identity theft, and civil or criminal cases. Owner and Chief Investigator Greg Buttrick is a retired law enforcement officer with 25 years of service and extensive experience in surveillance and investigative reporting. His team brings backgrounds in law enforcement, the military, security, and operations management, and Best Private Investigations was voted Melbourne's Best Private Investigation Agency from 2019 through 2024. Call 321-508-4492 or visit their Melbourne office at 635 East New Haven Avenue, Suite 609. Best Private Investigations. When you need the truth, trust the professionals. As we have another kickoff.
Both these kickoffs landing about the 20-yard line. Again, a little bit of a, not really a ball security issue, but he had trouble fielding the initial kickoff. It's kind of a bit of a plaguing issue for Heritage so far.
A near muff once again, and again a short kickoff, and Heritage having issues, nearly lost the first one, was able to just return it this one, but they're going to start backed up as a result of the another ball handling issue.
With Christian Borhe out for his 3rd series of work already in this one. The last 2 ending in fumbles. See if they can make third times to try and make some progress on this drive.
Yeah, I think if you're Coach Benson, the message is settle down. I think everybody's a little bit excited on both sides right now, but just settle into this one. It's a long game.
Exactly. It's a game of momentum, game of runs. Takes the snap, looks to his right, fans off for a little slide. That's going to be caught. Heritage moving close to that first down line. That's number 3, Antonio Flowers.
Yeah, just a little bit of a flare route, wide open, good play design, and that's going to set up a fantastic 2nd and 2 opportunity.
Yeah, and they're going to go no huddle. They're trying to hurry this thing up. Takes a snap, hands it up up the middle. That's going to be a big chunk yardage. The big fella, number 25, Drayvon Lee, the sophomore. That's one of the players we had highlighted tonight, and that's going to be a first down, sponsored by Best Private Investigation.
Yeah, you love the tempo. Over 500 yards last year for Lee, 5 touchdowns. Picking up where he left off. Yeah.
Not another 2 or 3. It'll be another chunk play there.
And especially early in the year, you don't know where the conditioning is. Very hot, humid night. This is a good idea from Heritage.
Yeah, you want to give them no time to adjust to your offense. Keep the defense on their toes here. It's going to be 2nd and 8. Flowers the motion man. Borhe with the snap. That goes back up the middle of the Lee again. 3 straight runs for the standout sophomore.
Yeah, interesting variation of tempo. And one thing they didn't show this on the goal line, but that's what field position allows you to do, right, is to go ahead and settle in. And one of the things it does, you're not overthinking. You're just doing with your tempo. So really interesting. And this will be 3rd and 5. This might be an opportunity for Borhe to show off his arm here.
Borhe takes a snap. He will show off his arm. Scrambles out to his right. Fires across the middle. It's going to be a little bit short, and that's intercepted. Rockledge with the pick. Terrell Bell, the guilty party here on the interception, and it's a turnover fest here at Heritage.
You know what's interesting is we've heard a lot about the departures for Rockledge, but you watch them warming up, they've got pretty good size and pretty good speed. They're showing it to you, especially on the outside. Their corners and their safeties, they're big, and they're doing a really good job thus far, not just in coverage but also run support. And you saw Bell there picking it off, and the Raiders are back in business.
Yeah, and it wasn't really even a terrible read. It was just a little bit underthrown there from Borhe. And again, Rockledge will be set up pretty nicely here. Yeah. I mean, still good field position, but somehow their worst field position of the night. That'll be on, I believe, the 42, if I'm not mistaken.
We've got an injury.
I think that might be Borhe. All right, while we have a break in the action, I'd like to thank another sponsor, Chrissy Lindback Realtor. Looking to buy or sell a home? Call Chrissy Lindback, a full-time realtor, multi-million-dollar producer, and one of Brevard's top 100 residential real estate agents. With more than 20 years of experience in real estate, finance, and insurance, Chrissy will listen to your needs and help you achieve your goals. Call Chrissy today at 321-591-3615. When it comes to Brevard County real estate, Chrissy knows. Visit chrissyknows.com.
We saw Antonio Flowers and King Royal during that injury break loosening up, but Borhe looks pretty good walking off the field on his own power. So hopefully he can come back into the contest. But obviously another golden opportunity for Rockledge with good field position set up at their own 42-yard line.
.58 yards to go to the end zone. Kemmerling in the pistol. Gives the handoff up the middle. That's going to be smothered by that Heritage D line. Nowhere to go for Rockledge.
Yeah, fantastic penetration there. They've done a pretty good job thus far against the Rockledge run game. It looked like Jason Simpkins was the first man there, but there were plenty of black shirts in the backfield there. Essentially no gain. Brings up 2nd and 10. This is where we'll begin to test the sophistication of the Rockledge passing game. How much of that playbook do you want to show? How much of that playbook do you want to put on Kemmerling's shoulders here early on in the season?
He trips to the bottom of the screen. And takes the snap. He'll drop back. He'll look to his right. Fires. And that one's going to be dropped just incomplete. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, the pass was a little bit behind Jonathan Jones-Brintley. Could have been caught, but you put him on his front shoulder, and it's probably a solid game. That's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Do not be surprised the way this game has started if Rockledge hands this football off.
And like you say, maybe a little bit more conservative with the playbook, how much you want to show. I agree with that call. They might go a little bit of an up the middle here, especially with backfield right now. Kemmerling takes the snap. He will pass. He's going to fire deep across the middle. That was going to be intercepted. Heritage is going to get it right back. And these teams are trading turnovers.
That's Estime.
Yep, you're right. That's Estime. He gets in on the fun.
Yes.
Each quarterback with an interception so far.
Yeah, Steve Estime. I just think there's got to be some settling down here right now. This is why I think an idea could have been something quick or what have you. But at the same time, you can look at this as a learning opportunity. Whatever happens, win, lose, or draw, it's not going to count in the standings. It won't be on Max Preps tomorrow. So might as well go ahead and work things out. And certainly these two teams are doing that thus far.
Yeah, and I don't really hate the aggression from both of the quarterbacks. I really like how they're taking shots across the middle. Again, just really a bit of timing issue, maybe a bit of a strength issue like we see with Borhi, a couple of low passes. But Heritage gets it right back.
That brings up a best private investigator first down for Heritage.
Handoff up the middle. Looks like that one's going to be number 1, Jason Simpkins.
I believe that's Izeal Johnson, the second of our running backs, coming back from South Carolina.
My apologies.
No.
Yeah, Izeal Johnson, one of the players to watch here. Yeah, again, a transfer from South Carolina, like you said. Could be a big impact player for them this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think right now it would behoove both teams to get a running game going. Heritage got a little bit of one going on the last drive, but obviously stalled out with the pick.
Going to go straight back to it, this time to the left side, and he's got a bit more room to run this time. He'll get about 3 or 4, set up a third and short. Do you go back to the running game 3 straight plays?
I might go back to it 4 straight plays, to be perfectly honest with you. Right now, the way special teams has gone, and I think the offensive line for Heritage is getting a bit of a push on the Raider defensive front. So don't be surprised if they run here to set up a potential 4th down conversion.
I mean, with that mindset, you'd have 2 plays to get 3 yards, and they throw a quick pass up the middle. That's going to get a first down, a best private investigator first down. Heritage is across the 50.
Yeah, Alex Fralin there taking what looked like an RPO. Good read there by Borhi, and he gets into Rockledge territory for a first down.
It'll be the Rockledge 44. Heritage trying to keep the tempo up. Putting together a bit of a drive here. Takes the snap. Goes back to the running back. He's got a huge gap up the middle. Gets about 5 or 6. That's Johnson again. He's been having his fingerprints all over this drive.
Yeah, and you can start to see Heritage have success running up that A gap here, and that tempo is only going to exacerbate that as the game wears on.
Johnson again will get the ball. He'll go to the right this time. He'll churn his legs all the way to about the first. He'll be just short. It'll be 3rd and inches. The Rockledge 40.
So as much as we talked about Borhi, since this school's inception, this is what Heritage football is, running the football and playing defense. You're seeing a little bit more of that on this drive.
Will be number 25, Drayvon Lee, in for the 3rd down and inches. See if they can power through. Another run, and that's exactly what they'll do. They'll jump over a defender, hop over for a couple more, and Heritage has another best private investigator first down.
And they found something between the tackles here of this Rockledge defense. It's a consistent 5-6 yard runs, and these are body blows that are going to add up in the second half of this game.
Yeah, give credit to Heritage. They're finding a method that works, and that 2-headed monster in the backfield between Johnson and Lee could be a huge trouble for defenses all year long.
Yeah, absolutely. Quarterback's best friend is the running game, and you're seeing it here. I would imagine helping Borhi settle in to not just the new season, but his new home.
He takes the snap. He'll fake the run, and that one's going to be dropped by King Royal. So a nice little execution there, but just a bit, again, another off timing between the quarterback and the receiver.
The play was there. It looked like a jailbreak screen. If he's able to haul that in, it looks like you have a pretty good game. But again, we talk about fumbles, muffs, and there's a drop pass there. And that's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
We'll see if they go back to that running game. Borhi takes the snap. He'll drop back, fire across the middle. And again, he wanted Royal, but again, just a little bit off, a few inches there.
Yeah, it looked like good coverage from Reggie Clark. Rockledge brought pressure off the edge there. Didn't get home. The offensive line picking it up. But good coverage there, and that brings up a 3rd and long situation for Heritage.
It'll be interesting to see. They're kind of in no man's land. So if you're Heritage, you kind of anticipate going for 4th down anyway, maybe go for a run, try and get like 4 or 5.
I don't think you're going to punt from the 32. So, and we're going to get a timeout here. This is going to be a water break. So while we have this water break, we want to tell you about Coastal Strength and Barbell. Ready to get fit, become healthier, or build serious strength? Let Isaac Bermudez and Coastal Strength and Barbell guide you. Isaac is a certified personal trainer, strength and conditioning specialist, and certified powerlifting and USA weightlifting coach. Coastal Strength and Barbell is also a preferred vendor for the Brevard County School Board and an official weightlifting club for Brevard County Schools. Train in an affordable, supportive family atmosphere. Call 321-604-1798 or visit coastalstrengthandbarbell.com. Coastal Strength and Barbell. Balance is key. These players know all about that out on the front. We've seen that already. As Heritage is going to go 4 wide here on 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10 from the 33. See how aggressive they get here.
Yeah, I think this is pretty clearly 2-down territory unless you lose yards or get a penalty or something like that.
He takes the snap, drops back, fires across the middle again, threads the needle. Beautiful pass, and that's going to be caught. That's going to be inside the Cape Coast Volleyball red zone.
Yeah, it's just finding a nice soft spot in the defense there. That's a game about 18 yards and a big 3rd and 10 conversion there. That's the quarterback that you get excited about that transfers in with the gaudy statistics.
Yeah, Antonio Flowers on the reception. Big, longest play of the night for either team. Handoff off the middle, and Rockledge is there, snuffing it out. That's going to be a 2-yard loss. Yeah,
that was immediate penetration, right? It looked like between like the center and the left guard there. That play never had a chance. I believe that is number 14, Zion Lavior there with the tackle for loss.
2nd and 14 from the 19, still in the red zone. Still looking to get the first score of the season. Be field goal or touchdown. Try and match Rockledge. Bo takes the snap, drops back. Pocket collapsing, tries to escape, can't get out of it. Rockledge is going to smother that up, and he just keeps eating up yards well out of the red zone now. It's going to be 3rd and long.
Yeah, it looks like Tay Harvey, who's already had a big quarter there. The guy Heritage even got away with a hold on the right side there. It was uncalled, but this is going to bring up 3rd and very long. And this is where you got to kind of feel out what you think about your kicking game, right?
Yeah.
Are you setting up for a field goal? Are you setting up for 2-down territory? What you don't want to do is end in another turnover. Missed field goal, at least psychologically, better than anything right now.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how Heritage attacks this one. Man in motion. It's Brandon Taylor. Borey takes the snap. Looks to his right, loses it, untouched. Looks like Heritage came back onto it. That's going to be number 56, Isaiah Grolin, saving a near disaster there. But, I mean, Borey wasn't even touched, and he lost the football. Yeah. So, after that big 18-yard gain, disaster strikes for the Panthers.
Looked like Marcel Evans was closest for Rockledge. And, well, you could almost punt here, frankly, from the 30 on 4th and 26, if you don't have the field goal kicker for it. You could think about it. I mean, you could, even if you punt it in the end zone, at least you get something out of it. But I think you probably throw one up into the end zone and see. It's a difficult thing. Now you may have a kicker that can kick this. It's not ordinary for high school football, but certainly if you want to attempt it, this will be about a 47-yard kick. Tough call here for Coach Benson early on.
And, you know, the great part about week 0 is there's not really a wrong answer. You could punt, you could throw it up to the end zone, you could kick it. At the end of the day, obviously, you still want to go out and win the thing, but kind of get to play around with these scenarios in a live-action game.
Well, Heritage's answer is going for it.
The spot to gain, or the line to gain, will be the 8-yard line. 4th and 22 from the 30.
Biggest thing if you're Rockledge, no defensive penalties here. Make them earn it if they're going to get it.
Absolutely. Or he drops back. He's going to take his check down. Going to get inside the 20.
Oh, wow.
He's going to get all the way. He's going to score for a touchdown. Heritage turns nothing into something, and this game's tied at 6.
You know, it's an interesting play call, and that obviously it gained yards. You're doing something safe for your quarterback to get him an easy read, and if you gain some yards, that's as much a field position call as anything, because that could have been a more effective punt than an actual punt. You figure he gets 10, 15 yards. If they make the tackle there, he's down at the 10-yard line, and that's that. But that, you want to talk about a deflating moment. 4th and 26 to give up a bootleg like that for a touchdown. That's going to be on an interesting moment on Monday in the film session.
Not only to give up a first down, but to give up a touchdown. That's going to be number 15, Alex Fralin, responsible for the first one of the year for Heritage. PAT is up, and it's good. Heritage has the lead 7-6 with 3:23 to go in our first quarter of action.
Yeah, I want to take this moment to recognize the Cape Coast Volleyball Club. The Cape Coast Volleyball Club develops more than great volleyball players. It develops confident athletes and strong young people. Through athlete-centered coaching, Cape Coast teaches teamwork, leadership, responsibility, resilience, and sportsmanship in a positive competitive environment. With beginner clinics, elite training, and competitive teams, Cape Coast offers programs for athletes of every age and skill level. Visit Cape Coast at 7740 Technology Drive in West Melbourne, or learn more at capecoastvolleyball.com. Cape Coast Volleyball, building better athletes on and off the court.
And I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to get as an electric of a start as we could have gotten. We got, when it comes to the touchdowns, that is. I mean, you got a scoop and score inside the 5, and then you got a little check down, go 4th and 22 for 30 yards for the score. I mean, couldn't really ask for much more to start this Kickoff Classic.
It's a design play. Rockledge is obviously thinking, obviously further back there in terms of heaving one to the end zone. It's really good coaching. It's really good coaching because it's something safe. It builds your quarterback's confidence. And again, when you think about it, that's far more safe than blocking for a punt. And obviously it worked out for a touchdown there. So, you put a check mark by Coach Benson's name there and the offensive staff for the Heritage Panthers. And that's how they have the lead, 7-6.
So first time tonight, Heritage will be kicking the ball off. Lands at about the 30, picked up by Rockledge, going to his left side. Has some daylight. It's got out across the 50, flags flying. Looks like this one might be coming back a little bit.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10 on a return, if you see a flag, it's on the receiving team, right? But I'll tell you what, Rockledge has some things to feel pretty good about on special teams other than their extra point.
Yep.
That was a fine return there. It looked like Terrell Bell,
I believe it was, number 8. Yep.
But it may be for naught.
Still, though, like you said, some good things to take away from the special teams, especially on that one. A good read by Bell.
And it's a hold. But still not terrible field position when it's all said and done for Rockledge.
Again, fielded that one on the 30.
Yeah, it's interesting because the kickoffs have not reached the returners yet.
Yep.
So it's kind of put some unfamiliar players in some unfamiliar situations here. Speaking of familiar, Rockledge is back in the pistol.
Carter Kemmerling out for another series of work trying to get Rockledge back in front. Handoff up the middle. He's able to get across the left side past the 40, down to about the 43. It'll be second and short.
Yeah, obviously Rockledge's best run of the night there, going right around the left end for a good solid gain. And I think ultimately that's what Rockledge wants to be, at least early on in the season, is they want to go straight ahead, try not to reinvent the wheel. Maybe you get a little more fancy as the season wears on. But right now, with a young football team, this is a pretty good way to go.
Be second down and 4 officially marked. See if they go back to the back. They do go straight up the middle again, and that one's going to be churned well for a first down and keeps the legs churning past the 50. Rockledge with back-to-back big-time runs, and it's going to be a best private investigation first down.
Yeah, absolutely. Rockledge has been rotating backs here. That was number 10, Antonio Emerson, on the carry. And you would expect that in an exhibition game. Most of this is as if it were a regular season game, but I don't think you're going to see a running back get 30 carries tonight. And I think you also want to find out what you have depth-wise. So exciting stuff here for Coach Holmes and his staff to be able to see some of that depth shine out.
Marked at the 50-yard line, first and 10. A bit of a delayed handoff this time, and that one's going to go for about 4 yards. It looks like it's going to be Antonio Emerson again, number 10.
Yeah, a little bit of a counterplay there, and they think they found something right on that left side of the offensive line, and they're into Heritage territory. And, again, this is what Rockledge wants to do right now. We talked about calming down. Heritage calmed down on their last drive.
Yep.
We're seeing Rockledge do a little bit of the same here.
Yeah, hopefully this gives Kimmerling a bit more confidence, a bit more, open up that offense a little bit more. Again, like you just said, yeah, Heritage had a great drive, fueled by the run game. Rockledge looking to return the same. Another handoff, that's 4 in a row. This time a bit more to the right side. He's met right up the middle. That's going to be 1 yard at the best case scenario. Third down and long.
Yeah, that's the hit of the season so far, and that's someone that we've heard a lot about. That's Corday Copeland, the 6'5", 215-pound defensive end. We're told watch out for his breakout. Well, that's a probably pretty good start to a breakout right there. putting the wallop on, puts it 3rd and 4, and don't be surprised if you see Rockledge run this ball twice.
Absolutely, and it's kind of like we said earlier, no man's land. You kind of go into it thinking this is 4-down territory regardless. Got to get 2 plays to get 4 yards. Cameron takes the snap. He'll drop back to pass. Finds his outlook, check down. Barely going to get back to the line of scrimmage at that. Heritage, off the initial snap, was feasting in the backfield.
Yeah, so I've been wrong on every call this far. That was a nice little swing, and here comes the punting unit for Rockledge. I don't hate it. We've seen what the defense has done when Heritage has been backed up, and your defense just had a long drive. If you can aid them, that's fine. Yeah, maybe they may just be taking a timeout here to think this over as well. I beg your pardon on that.
Yeah, and I think this is definitely more puntable territory, if that makes sense.
Oh, it's the end of the quarter.
Oh. The quarter's expiring, and at the end of quarter 1, we have Rockledge trailing Heritage by a score of 7-6. We're going to take a break ourselves. When we come back, we'll have the second quarter of action between Rockledge and Heritage here on Brevard Sports Network. Welcome back to Heritage High School here for this Kickoff Classic between the Raiders of Rockledge and the host Heritage Panthers. Looks like they are going to punt, and I don't really hate this call because it's a bit more towards the 50-yard line, whereas Heritage was inside the 30. You kind of had a bit of a no-man's land situation there.
No, I don't hate it either, especially with the what we've had thus far in terms of mistakes and turnovers. The one thing, and this ball's kicked off here.
It's going to be fielded inside the 20. Cutting to his left side, finding a little bit of daylight. Can't get around that bend, but he'll get to the 30-yard line. It looks like it's number 0, Jason Simpkins, on the return. A decent return, about 15, 20 yards.
Yeah, the one thing you would have liked to see, okay, so the end of the first quarter, right? If you're Rockledge, why not line up quickly, see if you can draw them with a hard count, because you don't have to snap that ball. But we're in week 0 with 15 to 18-year-olds, so we can't go crazy with that. But, maybe in November that's something you'd have liked to see. But that's fine. They executed a punt snap and obviously performed the coverage, which is not an insignificant feat for special teams in week 0.
Yeah, like you said, that's something you can reach into your bag of tricks a little bit later on. Again, in a 4th and 4 situation, you really have nothing to lose. You're probably going to punt anyway. Might as well see if you can get something out of it. First down and 10 on the 30-yard line. Heritage will start with this first possession of the second quarter. Christian Borhe looks to lead the Panthers down for their second score of the night, try to extend on this lead.
Yeah, I know we talked a lot about the long pass on, or what ended up being a long pass on 4th down, but what really got that drive going was the run game, and I think Heritage probably going to look more about that as we move forward here on this drive. Really doing some good stuff between the tackles and getting consistent chunk gains.
Really excited to see when they start mixing the pass with the run. Borhe fakes the handoff, the read option, able to just get back to the line of scrimmage. A huge tackle there. That's going to be number 14, Zion Lavore.
Yeah, we called his name a couple times here. Lavior, fine play. And it was a good read, too, because the back was smothered. It was just good defense by the Raiders.
Yeah, if he's able to get out of that tackle and maybe gets about 3 or 4 yards, but instead going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage, excuse me. Borhe takes the snap. He'll hand up the middle this time. And that's going to be Drayvon Lee. He'll get a few, but it sets up a 3rd and long situation. Obvious passing down here.
Yeah, you'd think they'd air it out here. And the Raider defense has bowed up here against the run in these first 2 plays. Now can they get off the field, something they couldn't do on the last drive?
3rd down and 7 here. Line to gain is the 40. Borhe drops back. Fires it well across the middle. Doesn't have enough. It does. It's caught. What a play. Antonio Flowers with a bobbling catch. biggest play of the night for Heritage, and they're in business.
I thought real time it was going to and was picked. And I'm not sure if there wasn't a change of possession there. It looked like it was real close. It looked like John Holmes was back there. But, no, it's going to be a big play, and that's one of those plays you circle when you look back at the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they're on the 25-yard line. A huge play there for Heritage. Gets them deep into Rockledge territory. And that's one that fires up the crowd there. You can feel it.
And that's the second straight momentum killer for Rockledge.
And Borhe goes to his check down. Able to get a few. Yeah, no kidding. It is a momentum killer for sure. Another third down and long situation. Rockledge unable to get off the field.
Yeah, and that's deflating. But still, again, only 7-6 here early in the second quarter. Rockledge has done some good things, but certainly need to get off the field defensively.
Yeah, 2 minutes gone by. We have 10 to go in our first half of action. Heritage marching down the field here. A 2nd and 5 at the 20-yard line. They're officially in the Cape Coast Volleyball red zone.
You wonder if you might not see a run between the tackles here.
Probably not, but who knows. Borhe with the delayed handoff. Gives up the middle to Lee. Lee keeps the legs churning. And it looks like he'll get past that line to gain. Heritage inside the 15. They're going to work here on this drive.
Yeah, there didn't look like there was a ton there on the initial handoff, but Lee showing his quality there, picked up about 8. And now they're into the Cape Coast Volleyball red zone.
They still have a few yards to go to get a first down, so they can get one on this series. Borhe takes the snap. Tries the read option at the very last second, and Lee breaks a couple tackles. It's inside the 10. They're slowly charting their way to the red zone. It feels like they're on an inevitable march here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was waiting or reading, or there was a bit of a bobble with the handoff there, but they got it off, and they ended up 4 yards at the end of all that.
Yeah, it was either bobbled or it was either the most delayed handoff I've seen in a minute, but either way, it works out for Heritage. 2nd down and 5 on the 9. So again, if they get to about the 4-yard line, they'll be able to get a first down.
We're going to have a timeout Heritage.
Timeout Heritage. We'll take a quick break ourselves to give you an ad read from Gillen, and Lindbeck. If you've been injured, experience matters. At Gillen, and Lindbeck, you work directly with your attorney, not a call center or case manager. Eric Gillen and Chris Lindbeck bring more than 48 years of combined Brevard County legal experience and prepare every case as if it's going to trial. The firm has recovered millions for injured victims, and if you don't win, you don't pay an attorney's fee. Call 321-729-1444 or visit BrevardInjuryLaw.com. Gillen, and Lindbeck, fighting for every dollar you're owed. 9:04 on the clock. Heritage leads 7-6. They're looking to add on some more here in the second quarter. Borhe is looking impressive on that huge gain, but it's also Trayvon Lee, the standout sophomore, who's doing a lot of the work on this drive.
Yeah, and one thing that's changed here, and I thought it might have maybe hurt us in the little bit. The sun's gone down. I kind of wonder if the sun got in the eyes of a couple of the returnees on the kickoff, but it does feel like it's gotten a few degrees cooler here in the last couple minutes, so maybe that'll help out the players conditioning-wise.
He's got 2 in the backfield. Elects to pass out to his left. See if he can get something here.
That's coming back.
It's going to be coming. Yep, you're right. It is coming back. Brandon Taylor with the reception, but
another
it
late
looks like
flag.
It's not going to be or it's going to be all for naught, excuse me.
Yeah, it looks that way, and it looked like it was a good read by the receiver to take the outside leverage there, but you got a little too handsy on the outside, it looks like, unless they pick this up, which I don't think so.
Still pretty good design by Heritage. Just got a little bit, like you said, too handsy there.
Now, there was a very late flag thrown in by the far side. We'll see if that's anything additional to the initial flag. We're having quite the discussion here.
Still no word yet. Still trying to get things ironed out here as we'll wait the call.
We could have done an ad read.
A lot of laundry to pick up for the ref right there.
It's week 0 for them, too.
Yeah, that good point Caleb just made. It is week 0 for the officials, too, so everyone gets a little bit of breathing room here.
I've still seen no signal.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on.
Well, Heritage is walking backwards.
So that, but yeah, pretty much indicates.
I think it is what you think it is, which was a hold on the outside.
I do wonder what that
There you
deliberation
go.
was about.
Now you get that. There's a hold. But then, did they get
Looks like
face mask? It was hard to see because we had a player.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Was it a personal foul? Either way, it was going to offset.
So.
Well, yeah, and that's what it looked like one was during play. When we get to the end of it, the down marker is second, essentially back where we were.
Yeah, it looks like we'll just redo this one again. But if you're Heritage, that's a big bailout there. It looks like you were going to be marching backwards. Instead, just get to do it over again.
Yeah, and I like the play call there.
Absolutely.
You had leverage there on the outside, like I referenced, and it's a good read when you have an experienced signal call, and I think that's one of the differences you're seeing between these two teams is you have Borhe versus someone that, frankly, we haven't found any evidence that Carter Kemmerling has thrown a pass in a high school game. It's a big difference. Kemmerling is a fine pitcher for the Rockledge High School baseball team, however.
So we'll run back pretty much the same formation, 2 running backs to the back, 3 receivers to the top. Said they'll hand it up the middle this time. Able to get get close to that first down marker.
Looks like he got it.
Number 22, Savon Parrish.
Yeah, that's a new. We've only seen Lee and Johnson thus far, and we see a third running back getting into the mix here as we do see Lee come back onto the field for Heritage.
So again, testing that depth are the Panthers. Whistle blown, and it looks like we might have a timeout or a water break here. 8:24 to go here in our Kickoff Classic. 7-6 is our score right now between Rockledge and Heritage. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more Kickoff Classic here on Brevard Sports Network.
Hey, this is Devon Dudley, and you are watching Brevard Sports Network. Oh, my brother, testify.
Welcome back to Brevard Sports Network here on the campus of Heritage High School for this Kickoff Classic. Heritage marching down the field is 3rd and 4.
I think we got a first down here.
Oh, excuse me, you're correct. It is first down. First down and goal. Heritage putting together an effective drive here. Started at their own 30.
Yeah, the scoreboard not matching the down and distance marker over there. It's just inside the 5-yard line here, and we've got a big package in here for Heritage.
8:41 to go in our first half of action. Again, Heritage trying to build on the early lead. The I formation.
Oh, here comes a shift.
They might run a bit of a trickery here, misdirection. Hand off to the right side. That's Lee, and he's going to power his way through for the touchdown. Heritage has another one.
Yeah, interesting. We really hadn't seen that type of pre-play shift other than maybe an orbit motion from Heritage throughout. But that was, we talked about their need to produce in the red zone. That's one way you do it. Power football right off the right tackle there, and Lee scampers in from about 4 yards out to make it 13-6 Heritage.
That's the first of many for Drayvon Lee this season. Again, a very focal point of their offense. Good to see him finding the pay dirt.
Now Borge's going to hold on the extra point. So we've seen big offensive stars for both sides taking those duties here so far.
Kick is up, and it's blitz the uprights. 14-6, the Heritage advantage over the Raiders.
Yeah, Rockledge was almost able to get that one. It looked like Karen Harris there made a pretty good effort, but just got that kick off. And, special teams is a big deal. We've already seen that at the beginning of the game with the muffs and the fumbles and what have you. We also see it, obviously, Heritage has made 2 kicks, and Rockledge struggled with their extra point attempt. So we'll see. Now, this is a point where you see, do you begin to think about the players that you don't have now that you're down 14-6? Or does Rockledge have a drive and then to kind of settle things down?
Yeah, and after a sloppy first quarter, 3 turnovers, I believe, from each team, it's good to see that these teams are producing productive, quality drives.
Yeah, a lot better here in the last 5-6 minutes than what we saw in the beginning of the game here. And I just think there were a lot of jitters. Again, these are 15 to 18-year-old young men, and that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
They're playing in front of hundreds of people, and it's their first game. And for a lot of these kids, especially in this era, it's their first game in a new school, in a new state even for some of them. So it takes some time to settle in, and we're beginning to see that now.
Yeah, especially for a quarterback like Christian Borghi, like we said, coming from New York. Again, first time in the state, playing a game in the state even. So, again, those jitters. But it's interesting to see both of these teams relying on the run game to get them going. Heritage doing that a bit more effectively.
There's a squib kick, and we talked about the adventure for Heritage. Rockledge returning the favor a little bit there, but they are able to get on it.
Able to get on it, but initially stopped at about the 30, rolls all the way down inside the 20. So good break if you're Heritage.
Yeah, absolutely. And, now if you're Rockledge, can you reestablish that run game that showed some flashes on the last drive? And then at some point, we talked in the open a lot about your big play guys on the outside, Gonzalez and Reed. How do you find a way to get them involved? Even if it's something quick, you don't have to take a 5-7 step drop. Get your returnees involved in this game. Excuse me, Matt Ford, not Reed.
Rockledge looks to get some of that deficit back. It will be Kemmerling in the pistol again. Takes the snap, fires immediately to his right. It's caught. They'll get a little bit of room. Still up to the sideline past the first down marker. That's going to be good for a best private investigation first down.
Well, look, I was bound to get one of them right sooner or later. That's a really good way to get your playmakers involved and a nice quarterback-friendly start. Love the play call there from Rockledge. And it looks like they're going to be just shy of the first down, which isn't altogether a bad thing. Second one, it is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives you a chance to, again, really kind of open your offense. Go to the run game, go to the pass game, go to a quick little out route. A lot is available here for the Raiders.
This is a busted play.
Yeah, it looks like they wanted that handoff, but instead he's going to be met in the backfield. We'll lose a couple there.
Somebody went the wrong way, and that blew the whole play up. So as much as I was extolling how great second one is, now you've got a dicey third and short here. I would be floored if Rockledge threw this ball, but stranger things have happened.
They're down at 2 on the 28. 7.5 to go in our first half of action. Rockledge needs a first down here to continue this drive. Don't want to go 3 and out, especially after Heritage gaining some momentum. What will Kemmerling call on this one? Take the snap, hand off. They'll go up the middle. They'll go a bit safe. They'll get just enough for that first down, a little bit more. And now I can firmly say it's a best private investigation first down.
Yeah, good push up front from that Rockledge offensive line. You could see them knock Heritage enough off of the ball there to plow forward for a gain of 3 and a much-needed first down. And you did like seeing Gonzalez get involved there. Let's see if they go to him more on this drive.
Kind of saw a little bit of Borghi airing it out in the last couple drives. Really interested to see if Kemmerling will match that, to kind of see how he can produce and unleash his arm on this series. Fresh set of downs for the Raiders. Man in motion across the middle. They'll give it to him. Reverses course, tries to get outside of the backfield, and he's smothered up. Flags on the field.
That's going to be a blindside block.
Just a total broken play.
I'm not sure they're going to accept this penalty because it's a pretty substantial loss. I think Heritage is going to decline, and it's going to be second long. It's either going to be first and very long or second and pretty long. But you do like the emphasis from the Rockledge coaching staff, hey, let's get Gonzalez involved here because you've got some playmakers on the outside. They've had a little bit of a tough time getting them involved and more of an emphasis on that on this drive. Well schooled by the Heritage defense there to stay home on that, forcing him to cut back. There was just nothing there.
Might have missed the call, but it looks like they're going to accept it. I don't think it was that far, so I think it looks like they might accept it.
They are going to accept it, and it's going to be, it looks like first and 25. That's an interesting call. Second and 17 versus first and 25. I think you could make a case either way.
Be interesting to see how Rockledge calls this. First down to 25. What does Kemmerling have in him on this drive? Take the snap. He'll fire deep down to the left side. That's a bit too much. Almost intercepted. Avoided a disaster there.
Well, I think that's something of a rehash we saw. That his very first pass of the game, he looked at one receiver and one receiver only, and he knew exactly where he was throwing that ball. And look, Matt Ford's a great guy to be able to throw that ball to with his size and speed. But you'd like to see him go through a progression a little bit better, unless he's coached that way, right? That's just a fade ball. But good coverage there from Heritage. That's going to bring up second very long. And you wonder if they might not give him another one-read play. You know, we saw the swing pass earlier. Things of that nature. Get your new quarterback settled in. He's got the arm talent.
Oh, 100%. I'm just hoping he can unleash it, kind of get on that type of timing with his receivers. Because, again, like you said, he's got the arm for it. He's got the potential there for sure. Cameron takes a snap. He'll just hand off up the middle to the right side. Cutting it. He's got daylight in front of him. That will be number 3, Karen Harris, with a big game. Or, excuse me. No, it was Karen Harris. Set up for a bit of a more manageable third down. Do you try a bit of a fourth down territory scenario, or do you just try and unleash it here?
Well, I mean, it's 3rd and 12 from your side of the field here. If you don't get anything, you're obviously going to punt the ball. Now, is Rockledge going to necessarily flip the field with that? But you do want to get, your field position. So, I mean, if you got 8 or 9 yards, I think you think about it, given how much you think you're gaining on a punt. We'll see if they hand this ball off.
Take a look to his right. He's got nothing. He's swallowed up in the backfield.
Ooh. Looked real close to the ball coming out.
Number
but
33.
He was down.
Number 33, William Davis.
He's hurt,
takes down Kemmerling.
A little slow getting off the field here. Kemmerling. Limping. Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Drive that started somewhat promising ends with a lot of penalties and a lot of mishaps for Rockledge, but
that was a QB draw, and Heritage was not fooled. Well disciplined there, that defensive front. And now Rockledge is going to punt once again. They're going to look for a little bit more than they got on that last one. Look where the returner is right here, right on the 50-yard line.
Yeah. Heritage looks to set up with good field position. Punt is up, and that one's going to travel. It's going to be inside the 50. They're going to let it bounce. Roll all the way down to that 48-yard line. Beautiful field position for the Panthers. Got 52 yards to go for another score.
Yeah, that's not a terrible result for Rockledge here as far as net field position is concerned. You've at least pushed them back into their own territory. Mm-hmm. Now, this defense has given up touchdowns on its last 2 possessions. The way the offense has been going, I'm not sure Rockledge can give up a 3rd one right now, given the momentum. So let's see if they can't bow up and make a stand. No,
if you're Rockledge. And I'm sure they can definitely find their footing in the later minutes of this quarter and second half, but you don't want to put that initial pressure on them down 2 scores getting into the second half. You don't want that at all. You want to give this offense a chance to find their footing without having to dig themselves out of it.
Well, I think what you don't want if you're Rockledge is to get into a situation where you're having to drop back out of necessity.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going on with your quarterback here, as we still see Kemmerling limping on the sidelines there. It's good that he's walking on his own power, but obviously something to monitor.
4:33 to go. Heritage starting this drive, trying to get, and we have whistles already.
Don't see a flag.
I was about to say, I don't see any laundry on the field, so I'm wondering what this is about. Maybe a scoreboard issue?
Officials timeout. Water break.
All right, while we have you here, we're going to talk to you a bit about Legacy Sports Construction. Building a championship caliber athletic facility starts with a team that understands sports. Patrick and Stacy Ross and the professionals at Legacy Sports Construction provide turnkey sports construction specializing in synthetic turf, from turf fields and running tracks to pickleball courts and complete athletic facilities. They deliver safe surfaces, outstanding service, and exceptional value. Backed by a lifetime of workmanship guarantee. Former coaches, athletic administrators, and military veterans, the Legacy team knows what it means to serve. Call Patrick today at 321-522-9027 or visit lssurfacing.com. Legacy Sports Construction, under-promising and over-delivering on every job.
And yes, thank you to all of our sponsors here tonight that make broadcasts such as this and the one going on between MCC and Holy Trinity possible. Our good buddy Alan Zlatorzynski is over there with Anthony Neckreiner doing a rivalry game to start week 0 here.
Nothing better than a rivalry game to start off the season, huh?
Yeah, and that's one of the more intense rivalries in athletics in the county.
Yeah, those teams definitely be trying to beat each other up tonight. Fake handoff. Just a little bit too strong on that one. Wensley Gilliam, excuse me.
Yeah, I love the play call there. 1st and 10, giving your quarterback. Again, it looked like an RPO. Could have been a first down if he hauled that in.
Yeah.
Now brings up 2nd and 10. But again, it's just errors in execution. Coach Benson will have plenty to go over with his team in film on Monday.
He took his eye off the ball just a tad early, and when that happens, that's the result.
Yeah, excellent call by Caleb.
Got to keep your eye on the ball, yep. Pocket collapsing. Voorhees able to escape. Cuts up middle. He's able to get close to that first down mark. Ball is loose.
He's down, though.
I think he was down. They're calling it down right at that 45-yard line of Rockledge. A great play making, again, something out of nothing for Voorhees.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of where that 323 rushing yards last year came from, but obviously ball security at a premium. It was hard to see from here whether he was down or not, but on Saturday or Sunday we might be taking a look at that one. But the official was pretty emphatic right away on the call on the far side. Had a better look at it than we do.
It'll be 3rd down and 2 from the 45. Heritage looking to keep this drive alive. Rockledge looking to get off the field. We have whistles blown.
Timeout Rockledge.
Timeout Rockledge. They're going to discuss this one over. We'll take a quick break ourselves here on Brevard Sports Network. When we come back, we'll have the conclusion of the 2nd quarter between Heritage and Rockledge here from Heritage High School.
At Coastal Strength and Barbell, we don't do random workouts. We follow a proven system built for results. Everything we do has a purpose, whether you're an athlete, chasing performance, or you just want to get stronger, healthier, and more confident. We focus on what actually matters. Proper movement, full range of motion, and strength that carries over to real life. With our Coastal Conjugate system, we train with intention by identifying weak points and fixing them so you keep progressing. From beginners to competitive athletes, we meet you where you are and push you forward. If you're willing to work, results will speak for themselves. Coastal Strength and Barbell. Results that show and coaching that matters.
Welcome back into Brevard Sports Network here between the Heritage Panthers and the Rockledge Raiders. With 3rd down and 2. Snap the fake handoff. Clock again collapsing.
Ooh.
Throws it away, honestly. 4th down.
There was no receiver in the area. He's just trying to get rid of that ball. But in doing so, even though it was obviously dangerous, he may have preserved a 4th down opportunity here for Heritage. This is an interesting call. I think I'd go for it here, and I think I'd run this football.
You might as well. I feel like, although initially I was expecting him to kind of run it because it was 3rd and 2. Kind of no man's land. It looked like
you could try and draw him off here.
Yep,
if you don't get it, you can just punt. You have that in your bag, especially late in the 2nd quarter. You also have a timeout left. They're trying it. Yeah, this is what this is.
Yeah, a lot at your disposal if you're the Panthers.
They may call time. I'll see interesting if they call timeout or they let it. Oh, they may run this play. Yeah,
they will. Voorhees drops back. Looks to his right. Fires. Looks like that's tipped at the line. Big stop for the Raiders. And they're back in business.
Marcel Evans getting his big paw up there, deflecting the pass. And what a big stand for this Raider defense, keeping them within a score. And now can they do something with it to end the half here, potentially 3:30 to go, and they get the ball to start the 2nd half.
I'm really interested by that play call because it seems like they were probably set on making it 2-down territory regardless, but they didn't run it either time. I'm surprised with how efficient the run game's been.
I would have loved to have seen them hand the ball off there, but you understand. And you may not be thinking squarely of how do we win this game. You may be thinking of, okay, what can we do to develop better as a team come November? And maybe you're going to need to convert a 4th and 2 by way of the air against some of the better teams that you're going to face.
Yeah, that's a good point. Again, you kind of want to execute strategies for maybe later down the road in a game that is not going to show up on this official schedule. Delayed handoff up the middle. He's got a little bit of room. Gets about 4 or 5. just out to the 50.
You've got plenty of time to run to stay with the ground game if you're Rockledge. No need to hurry up or get crazy yet. And what it also does, bigger picture, by staying within that score, I think it allows you to stay primarily with that ground game, which is clearly where they're more comfortable. You've got a quarterback that might be a little banged up. Good to see Kemmerling back in here. So I think if you're Rockledge, a lot of good things have happened in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 49-yard line. 3 minutes to go here in our first half of action. Rockledge looking to answer. Kemmerling will drop back. He'll fire to his right. A deep shot, trying to thread the needle, and that one's intercepted. Heritage gets another pick off of Kemmerling, and the offense is right back in business.
He's looking for the one-on-one to Gonzalez. The problem is the safety's back there, and he basically pitch and catch there. There are some predetermined reads that are going to have to be ironed out with the young man, but he's been put in a tough spot. He's got great arm talent. He's going to improve as the season wears on. But right now, you can kind of see a little bit of that maturation process going on with Kemmerling. And now it's Heritage's turn. Back on offense. Can the depth of this Raider defense sustain till the end of the half?
Yeah, and like you said, Kemmerling, it wasn't a horrible read. He had his man beat, but the safety was right there. So, if he wasn't there, he might be talking about a touchdown, but instead we're talking about an interception. 2:42. Borhe will drop back, hand it off, trying to reverse course is Isaiah Johnson. He might get 1 or 2, but that's about all he'll get.
Plenty of Raiders getting in the backfield. Looked like Kaysen Arellano, one of them. And I'll tell you what, Rockledge has done a fairly decent job. There haven't been a ton of big runs from Heritage. The Rockledge run defense has done pretty good here so far.
Yeah, they've been really relying on their defense. Again, defense responsible for all 6 points tonight. Ocean man in the back. Borhe will draw it up the middle. He sees open daylight in front of him. Braces for the hit. He'll get close to that first down mark. It looks like they might give it to him, or he'll be up. They're moving the chains. First down, Heritage.
That's a nice play call there, clearing out the linebacker, then quarterback draw right up the middle, where Heritage has had the majority of their success running in general. Picks up a first down, and here comes the tempo.
2-minute drill time here for Heritage. Little
Fumble.
Short dump off.
Oh,
right, the ball was loose.
The ball was loose, and he tried to. The defender actually tried to bat it back into play. Couldn't quite get there, but a good effort there. Good football IQ. I believe that was John Holmes. Not surprising as IQ there.
Yeah, Alex Fralin on the reception. His first since that long touchdown run on 4th down. Or excuse me, not run, catch.
Yeah, and now you'll try to see the proverbial 2-minute drill here, onto 2 minutes here, with that tempo that Heritage showed on their second drive of the game here. Obviously, having that in your bag, really, really critical. And not every team has that at this point or at all in high school football.
Granted, it is the first 2-minute drill of the year, but if they're able to execute here, it bodes well for the rest of the season. Pocket collapsing. Nowhere to go for Borhe. He gets swallowed up 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
I think that was Terrence Wells that immediately beat the right tackle and created all of that. And that Rockledge, we talked about the Rockledge defensive line. The Florida Today reporting suggesting John Holmes loves his defensive line. You could see why in this first half.
3rd and 5 on the 38.
And they're not in any hurry here, which is interesting.
I think worst case, if they
Minute
get the first
12 and ticking.
I think if they get the first down, might hurry it up, but don't want to leave Rockledge too much time. Just over a minute to go. Borhe snaps it. Fires deep to his right side. 2 men there. Somehow almost caught. That would have been a highlight play down there from Jason Simpkins. Instead, it's 4th down.
What we just described with Kemmerling is the exact same thing that Borhe did. That ball could have been picked off by the safety. Almost a fantastic catch, but you don't want to put it up 1-on-2 there. That safety is back waiting for that. Heritage has to punt this football. 4th and 5-ish, under a minute to go. And then, assuming nothing crazy happens here, I would think Rockledge would want to go into the half.
I mean, yeah, dangerous throw, but he almost went up and Moss moved, climbed the ladder for that one, just couldn't survive the ground. It'll be interesting to see how Heritage plays this. See if they can get him down inside their own deep in their own territory.
Yeah, 2 returners back for the Raiders. You don't think the fake is on here.
Certainly not. Just gets it away, and that's a good punt there inside the 30. reversing course, trying to get past, and he's met way back. He's gonna lose. He's gonna lose some yards.
So Gonzalez tried to do that on a bit of a speed toss earlier. It didn't work out. Reversing field. You understand it, right? Because if he goes out of bounds at 35, the half's over anyway. So you figure, why take the shot? Why not take the shot anyway? I think Rockledge is going to kneel this ball.
Yeah.
But we'll see what Coach Holmes elects to do. They are down 8, but they do get the ball the second half. And I don't know that you want to risk another turnover right now after what we just saw.
And I like the principle from Gonzalez, but reversing field is just such a hard thing to do unless you got open daylight. I think just taking it up the middle, trying to get a few more yards because, again, he lost more than he gained on that one.
Yeah, I mean, if there's 6 minutes left in the half, you're like, with that situation, I get it. I really do. But, again, not having your blockers there is tough. You also see a little bit of the electricity that he brings, and this looks like this is a tight formation. This looks like a kneel down out of the pistol, unless it's just a power run. No, it's not a kneel down. But
they'll do that right up the middle.
But it is out of the power formation, and they made it. I would think they'd let this go.
I imagine. 40 seconds to go. Yeah, Rockledge in no hurry. It looks like they're just going to be content taking this one to the half. The second down and 6. 20 seconds to go. They're not. They're no hurry. It looks like we will have a 14-6 halftime score. Heritage on top.
We want to thank our halftime sponsor here, Gamers R Us, for their sponsorship of this broadcast. And don't believe we are going to get a performance here from the Heritage Band, but obviously halftime's a little bit more special at Heritage than most places normally on a Friday night. We look forward to seeing that throughout the season. As you referenced, we have reached halftime.
Yep, and we'll take a quick break ourselves. When we come back, we'll have the second half of action between Heritage and Rockledge here on Brevard Sports Network.
All right. Our halftime sponsor, Gamers R Us. Tonight's broadcast is proudly supported by Gamers R Us. Owned by Cocoa High School alumnus Seth Gibson, Gamers R Us has built a welcoming community destination for gamers and collectors inside the spacious 5,000 square foot Cocoa location. They host weekly events in major competitive tournaments for Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, Dragon Ball Super, and more. Gamers R Us also offers D&D, Warhammer, tabletop games, and comfortable lounge with PlayStation, Nintendo Switch systems. Where you're an experienced competitor, whether you're a experienced competitor or a collector, just looking for a fun place to connect with fellow gamers, Gamers R Us has something for everyone. Visit them at their location, 801 Dixon Boulevard, Suite 1133 in Cocoa, or give them a call at 321-735-7057, or shop online at gamersrus.net. Gamers R Us, where the gaming community comes together. Also, give you a couple shout-outs to a couple of our other sponsors. You know, again, our first down sponsor being Best Private Investigations, Chrissy Lindback, Coastal Strength and Barbell, Cape Coast Volleyball Club. We got a lot of volleyball coming up this next week. I believe we have 4 or 5 matches scheduled next week. So Brevard Sports Network will bring you ample amounts of volleyball. And, of course, you know our Friday nights are dictated by Friday Night Lights. How about Legacy Sports Constructions? Legacy Sports Construction, building a championship caliber athletic facility starts with a team that understands sports. Patrick and Stacy Ross are the professionals at Legacy Sports Construction, provide turnkey sports construction specializing in synthetic turf, from turf fields, running tracks, pickleball courts, and complete athletic facilities. They deliver safe services, outstanding service, and exceptional value, backed by lifetime workmanship guarantee. Former coaches, athletic administrators, and military veterans, the Legacy team knows what it takes to serve. Call Patrick today at 321-522-9027 or visit online at www.lssurfacing.com. Legacy Sports Construction, under-promising and over-delivering on every job. All right, so again, typically we would allow you to watch the halftime shows. However, it's a Kickoff Classic. Bands don't play at the halftimes of Kickoff Classic, so we will be muted, and we will be right back with second half action in about 10 minutes.
Hi, I'm Christy Lindback with Compass, your East Coast real estate expert. When it comes to selling your home, experience and strategy matter. My team and I make sure every detail is handled, so you get top dollar and a stress-free experience. We bring in professional stagers, high-end photographers, and cinematic videographers to showcase your home at its best. Because every showing starts online, and we make sure your home stands out. With consistent communication, strong negotiation skills, and local market expertise, I guide you every step of the way. Because here in Brevard, when it comes to real estate, Chrissy knows. Ready to buy or sell in Brevard? Visit Chrissy Knows, and let's get started.
At Coastal Strength and Barbell, we don't do random workouts. We follow a proven system built for results. Everything we do has a purpose, whether you're an athlete, chasing performance, or you just want to get stronger, healthier, and more confident. We focus on what actually matters. Proper movement, full range of motion, and strength that carries over to real life. With our Coastal Conjugate system, we train with intention by identifying weak points and fixing them so you keep progressing. From beginners to competitive athletes, we meet you where you are and push you forward. If you're willing to work, results will speak for themselves. Coastal Strength and Barbell. Results that show and coaching that matters.
Welcome back to Brevard Sports Network presentation of Friday Night Lights here at the Kickoff Classic. We are here at Heritage High School where the Panthers currently lead the Rockledge Raiders by a score of 14-6. Brian Kelly joined alongside Chris Bonanno and Caleb Brown on our camera. Chris, what do you like what you saw in the first half from Heritage, and what didn't you like?
Well, from Heritage, I mean, obviously the first 5 minutes was something you just kind of want to say. But I liked both teams somewhat settling in. I mean, we still had plenty of foibles, and the turnovers were still an issue. But I thought the quality of play got better in the second quarter than it was in the first quarter. You saw that the nervousness wore off a little bit. I thought Heritage got a run game going a little bit, and obviously you got to like what's going on defensively here if you're Heritage.
Yeah, and conversely on the flip side, if you're Rockledge, how do you get back into this one again? Rockledge only touchdown responsible is from the defense.
Yeah, I thought Rockledge defensively did a really nice job bowing up before the half. I thought Rockledge did a really nice job. It was one of those things where it was 14-6. You think, oh, gosh, are they going to let go of the rope? And they didn't, and they held out twice. And now they're going to get the ball back. And, as long as Rockledge is within a score, I think they got to feel pretty good the longer this gets.
Absolutely, and we're just 2 minutes away from the second half of action here between Heritage and Rockledge. And it's been that first quarter was super messy. You saw kind of a lot of the kinks being worked out, a lot of turnovers, but you're right. That second quarter, we really saw some good, productive drives from both these sides, specifically Heritage, especially when they started to get that run game more involved. But we also saw a lot out of Borghi. We saw some big plays, that 4th and 22. That pass across the middle that went for about 30, 40 yards. That was a bobble catch. We thought it was an interception. Then it was a touch, or not a touchdown, a catch.
So the frustration, if you're Rockledge, if you're John Holmes at half, you went in there and you told your defense this should be 6-0, because you look at the two plays where the bootleg on 4th and 26 or it's 20-something for a touchdown. It was just a nice safe throw. The other was 3rd and 10. They completed about a 40-yard pass that looked like it was going to be intercepted. Safety couldn't quite corral it, and as a result, a big play. I believe it was a safety. And those two plays led to the two scores. But otherwise, this is 6-0.
Yeah, and if you're Rockledge, you just got to limit the big play. That's about all you can really do.
Conversely, if you're Heritage, if you're Coach Benson and Coach Angel, you're sitting there saying this should be nothing on their end because of essentially fumbled the ball into the end zone on the first play. You had that ragged start. But overall, the Heritage defense hasn't surrendered much here in the first half. But this is big because getting the ball to start the half, given the way the kickoffs aren't going all that far, a big deal. It doesn't take too much to get the ball near midfield to start this possession.
Yeah, both kickers have kind of been a bit of the short kick tonight, so it'll be interesting to see if Rockledge can take advantage of a potentially short field. But again, also, you say the kick's been a bit short, but on the flip side, people have had trouble fielding all night.
Yeah, they absolutely have. Every time we've seen these short kickoffs, they go about 30 yards or something like that. Most of the time, both teams have had trouble handling. Now, we are, as you can see, our vantage point looks a lot different than it did to start the game here. The sun's gone, so maybe that will help as far as that's concerned. And your up-backs, they've got to be expecting this. Now, those returners back on the 10-yard line, there's a good chance they're not getting this ball.
That one's going to be quick. It's going to just before the 30. Churn his way, keep it going. Rockledge getting to about the 45, so a pretty decent field position for the Raiders to start this half.
Once again, we see the up back. We haven't seen a return man field a kick all night tonight. And like we said, the advantage that much more palpable here. Rockledge is going to get it started past the 40-yard line. Almost reminds you of an NFL situation here where it's so tilted at this point.
Carter Kemmerling will come out. Locked up a little bit gimpy on one of those possessions, but he'll look to lead the Rockledge offense here, try and get them their first score of the season.
Yeah, this is a big possession here for Rockledge. Can they build a little bit momentum? Can they get there? Can they get Ford and Gonzalez a little bit more? They tried in the second quarter to get Gonzalez aboard. Haven't heard too much from Ford. They've targeted him a couple times.
That ball's loose.
We've got a ball, and the first thing we should say, there was someone new under quarterback.
Yeah,
we talked about Ford. He was under center there, and his first snap was bobbled. Fortunately for the Raiders, they're going to recover that. Now, you wonder, is this injury related, or is this they want to get another look at somebody, or that's a TBD. We can't answer that question up here. But it is now. Matt Ford, we talked about his exploits at sophomore. You can see the raw talent. He has come in under center. And let's see what this offense looks like with him. Obviously, we've got to go through that acclimation process again here. And when you talk about the two quarterbacks that left, there's so much turnover here under center for Rockledge.
Yeah, you got to hope it's the latter. You got to hope it's just they're trying to test out their depth. So hand it off to the right side. Nothing really there. Be third down and long for Rockledge.
That looked like the same play, honestly. Just trying to get a basic handoff off. That didn't look particularly clean, but they got the job done. Unfortunately, there, Rockledge lost a couple yards. And with a new quarterback here, you got to think they're going to hand this ball off again and just get their feet wet, right? We're just looking for operation of the offense right now more than anything. Looking to see if we can see Kemmerling out on the sideline, whether he's walking around, is he dressed?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from up here, but looks like it'll be third down and long for the Raiders here on this opening drive of the half. Got back whistles.
The near side receiver wasn't set.
So just a nightmare drive to open up the half for Rockledge. See if they can get something out of this.
Well, you're looking at so much turnover as a reference. It's tough to get a rhythm. And
it's true.
Kemmerling had the offense operating, and now you've got to go through a whole new different cadence. And there's a lot to unpack here. And it's, of course, as we've referenced time and time again, it's week 0, right? Practice started a few weeks ago. It's always amazing to me how quickly we go from the start of practice to the Kickoff Classic.
Certainly, yeah. You get plenty of time to iron out your kinks, things of that nature. It'll be third down and long. 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Take the snap, and, they'll just do a little read option. He'll get a few, but that's going to be well short of the first down. Rockledge looks to punt.
Even that didn't look super clean, but at least, it's a drive that's going to end in a kick. Mm-hmm. If you have the ball and you have a drive that's going to end in a kick, it's not terrible. So Rockledge will do just that. And we'll see the Heritage return man, Simpkins, he's going to line up at about the 38, 39-yard line. So they've really adjusted pretty quickly to the Rockledge kicking game here. Not a bad kick the last time out there for Lightsey. We'll see if he can Lightsey, excuse me. We'll see if he can pin them back in his own territory here with this one.
Be officially 4th and 21 from the 34. Take the snap. Booted. That's going to be a well short. Going to be bounce inside the Rockledge side of the 50. That's going to keep rolling inside the 45.
Touch that ball.
So Heritage will be set up with great field position for their first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and that's one of those where, they got a good bounce last time.
Yep.
Not so good a bounce this time. You almost wonder, would they experiment as the season goes on with a rugby-style kick? Maybe you get some bounces here and there with the momentum. But that may also be asking a lot of the blocking as well. We'll see how that goes throughout the year. But for now, it's tough when the offense is not getting a lot, and you really can't pin the offense back too much with the kicks. And now Heritage is going to start in plus territory.
Handoff will be to Lee. Flags fly, so it looks like Heritage will be going backwards.
This might be a formation or procedure penalty. I think they may blow this one dead. Far side official saw something he didn't like. Illegal shift.
Penalties declined. Interesting.
Well,
be interesting to see where they're set up now.
Yeah, it's 2nd and 10. I get it. 2nd and 10 versus 1st and 15. That's.
With the way they've been moving this ball, I might want to take less downs. Motion man is Fralin. Wasn't ready for the snap, still gets it anyway. He's able to flip it out.
Well designed.
Heritage able to make another nothing out of something. That's King Royal on the reception. Close to that first down.
Yeah, we saw Heritage try that in the first half. Couldn't quite connect, but that's a well-designed play there. It's safe. It gets the quarterback's confidence going, gives the defense a different look. And now you got 3rd and short in what you'd have to believe is 2-down territory for the Panthers.
100%. I mean, you're pushing close to that 30-yard line. Really, again, back in no man's land. Got to be thinking 2 downs to get 1. Fakes the handoff, flips it out. That's Fralin, reverses to his left. He's able to get that first down and more. It's going to be a best private investigation first down.
Yeah, they've had some really interesting RPO plays out in the flat. That's not his first reception. That was Alex Fralin. Really well-designed stuff here that we're seeing from Heritage. They've had some other RPO stuff open they haven't quite connected on, but there's some encouragement. If you're a Panther fan and want to see expansion of the passing game, you like what you see here.
Gives the handoff to Lee. He's going up the gut. He'll get 3, 4, maybe 5. I've really liked the inclusion of many different offensive components. I really like that they're showing their arsenal tonight. Azeel Johnson, Brandon Taylor, Antonio Flowers, Drayvon Lee, Alex Fralin, just to name a few of the names we've called tonight.
Yeah, and obviously that's going to set up that RPO game, certainly, and you're seeing Rockledge having to respect that. And so there's a nice flow for Heritage offensively.
The pitch now out to Lee. He'll try to get some momentum. Not as successful on this one. Sets up a 3rd down and medium.
Now, we hadn't seen that shotgun pitch since the very first offensive play of the game when they fumbled. So if nothing else from an execution standpoint, you're pleased if you're Benson and company. We also do see Kemmerling warming up with Ford on the sideline. Don't know if that's just warming up Ford. Don't know if that's Kemmerling wanting to come back in. TBD.
We'll have to wait and see on that one. 3rd and 4 from the 24. 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Heritage driving again, looking to extend their lead to 2 possessions. He takes the snap, hands off to Johnson to the left side, cuts in. He's able to dive across. Did he get that first down? It looks like they give him by a yard. Panthers move the chains.
Yeah, it looked like Johnson with a good second effort there, just getting across the 20-yard line into the Cape Coast Volleyball red zone. And Heritage looking to make this a 2-score game, and that would be a little tough for Rockledge given their offensive output here.
Yeah, because they need to still find their footing offensively, and asking them to get out of a 2-possession hole is going to be a really difficult ask. I really liked, again, how they showed that arsenal, the 2-headed monster of Johnson and Lee, giving each of them a carry on that possession.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to rely on one. I think they're going to do that a lot throughout the season, but especially in a kickoff classic.
And that one's swallowed up in the backfield. He breaks the tackle, able to just get out of the first one, but not the second.
Well, we've got an injury here. That's John Holmes.
Yeah, John Holmes on the tackle, but
he looks like it's a cramp.
Yeah, I believe it'll be cramp. That's
hopefully he's running off the field. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
grabbing the back of his leg. That was Karen Harris that got the penetration here that started. He didn't finish the play, but he really blew it up eventually, and Holmes and company were able to finish it. You do see Kemmerly limping on the sidelines there as he's walking back to the bench. So the Raiders are taking some hits here. Not what you want to see ever, but certainly not in a kickoff classic.
The 2nd and 11, officially a loss of 1 on that one, so just outside of the red zone. Motion man is Johnson. Borhe unloads for the end zone, just a bit too much. King Royal was the intended receiver.
Yeah, that looked like Mike Gonzalez out there going both ways with good coverage. It was, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 11. We're going to get a timeout here in a fast-moving 3rd quarter, 5:27 left. It's water break time. Also acts as a de facto timeout for Heritage as we'll take a break here with the Panthers leading 14-6.
Welcome back to the Brevard Sports Network here from Heritage High School. The Panthers are driving here on the Raiders with approximately 5:27 to go here in our 3rd quarter of action here in this Kickoff Classic. Brian Kelly, Chris Bonanno, and Caleb Brown here in the booth tonight.
Yeah, this is an interesting call here. We don't know what the kicker's range here is for Heritage, but they're just around the 20-yard line. If you get some yards, do you attempt it? I mean, a field goal here is big to put you up 2 scores.
Borhe drops back. He'll look to the right again. Pump fakes. And that one's going to be caught by Fralin. He's been his security blanket all night. And that'll move the chains.
I think it's a 1st down. It's really close. That was 3rd and 11.
It'll be close.
I think, well, we've got another injury for Rockledge.
Got to hope it's a cramp.
That's immediately what they're going for. Let's hope that's all it is. And that's an issue. It's hot, it's humid, conditioning early in the season. If you're ever going to see something like that, it's in this game.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of those. Drinking a lot of water is going to be important. Staying hydrated, things like that.
And you're also going to get that if you got guys going both ways here, which with these roster levels, you are in some case. That looked like number 9, Von Dexter Tyler. He looks like he's all right. I think that was a cramping situation. Hopefully it was, but you could see him jogging off the field under his own power. So that's obviously a really good sign. It is a 1st and goal for Heritage.
So it looks like they were outside of the red zone, so it's going to be a private investigation 1st down, and they're in the Cape Coast Volleyball red zone, so it's a little 2-for-1 there.
So we see as Rockledge needs to get an 11th man on here. We see Heritage back in that power formation. We'll see if they shift out of it, but this is good to put on film for teams further in the year. A strong eye. You don't see that all the time now.
Trayvon Lee's in the backfield, as well as Anthony Hicks, number 6. First time we've called his name tonight. First down and goal for the Panthers. Looking to add on some more here.
There's that shift again to the right. You wonder if it's the same play. It is.
Looks like it is. Lee breaks the first tackle, cuts inside, just short. Is he in? He's in. Trayvon Lee, 2nd touchdown of the night. Heritage builds on their lead.
I didn't think he was in, but it's still a strong run out of that same play. Bread and butter, power football, right off tackle, and Lee takes it in for what the referees will say is his 2nd touchdown of the evening. 20-6 now. Clock was still running. 4:40 to go.
And yeah, you said it best. Bread and butter play. They ran it 2 times inside the 10. Both times converted for a touchdown. Again, expect to see that play a lot from Trayvon Lee this season.
There's a big extra point here.
Put them up 15. Kick is up, and that spirals through the uprights. 21-6, our score. Heritage with 21 unanswered. Rockledge looking to get back in it.
And I'll tell you what, you want to extrapolate from that a little bit. That looked like a kick that could have been good from 30-some-odd yards. Like, they've got a field goal operation here where if they didn't pick that up, I think you could have seen them try it.
And, the best part about that being in the lead, they're up 14-6. Previously, when we were discussing the potential for a field goal situation, the best part is week 0, up, 8 at home. You can kind of play around with that situation a little bit. Try the bit of the longer field goal.
And now it's danger time if you're Rockledge. You're down 21-6. You've hung in there. It's time to show something offensively. Probably on this drive, to be perfectly honest with you. Given the way the Heritage run game has really taken over here in the last little bit, who knows what you're getting at quarterback here. But if nothing else, even psychologically, you'd like to see the Raiders put a drive together.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to see them put together something substantial on offense. Interested to see how conservative or how aggressive they might get, considering it is a kickoff classic. Obviously, regular season game, you fight to the bitter end, and it's still plenty of time. There's still 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
One thing that is odd, by the way, is you see this booming kickoff suddenly to the end zone.
That's first one tonight. Touchback.
Yeah, and that's huge, the way the field positions are going. As a Rockledge High alum, it is a little weird, and I know we went through the years where they had the Rutgers R, but it's weird to see, even in a kickoff classic, the Rockledge Raiders play without the script rock on the side of their helmets. We'll see if that comes back. I don't know if that's in the offing. Maybe it's just a kickoff classic thing, but that's noticeable. My eyes aren't deceiving me. They don't have the script rock on the yeah.
Raiders will set up shop at the 20.
And is that? Yeah, that's Kimmerling. He's back, looking a little ginger, but give him the nod.
See how aggressive they get with him.
And this is just an operation of the offense thing more than anything, I think.
Kimmerling takes a snap from the pistol. He'll hand it off. It'll break the first initial tackle. He's got some green grass in front of him. It's going to be about an 8-yard gain for Mike Gonzalez.
And we've got an injury here for Heritage, Jaden Simpkins. That was a fine cutback there. One of Rockledge's best runs of the evening. That's actually going to be a first down for the Raiders, or a 1st and 10 run. gets them a best private investigator first down.
Two backs in the backfield. Kemmerling takes from the pistol. See if they go back. And is the first back. Gets through the first initial couple tackles, and he'll gain about 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, a little bit different look. Two backs giving it to the up back. First time we've seen that tonight. Positive, and you see the mindset from Coach Holmes, especially with your quarterback's health uncertain. Hey, let's hand the ball off. Let's establish the run game, and then we'll see if he's able to throw here as we move forward.
Another handoff, 3 in a row for Rockledge. This one snuffed in the backfield, nowhere to go. I'll set up third down and medium.
Well, we may be about to find out if he can throw here on third down and 7. He still looked a bit gimpy coming on, but you give him the nod, especially in a kickoff classic, for going back out there and wanting to play for his team. Again, we talked about him. We couldn't find any football statistics for him, but obviously a fine member of Coach Claiborne's baseball team. He's a competitor, and you're seeing that here tonight. They're down 2 scores. He wants to be out there for his team.
3 minutes to go in our third quarter of action here in this Kickoff Classic. Rockledge faces a 3rd and 7, looking to get something going here offensively. Heritage looking to mount another stop. Kemmerling with one in the backfield. Takes the snap, he'll pass. Looks to his left, immediately fires, and that one's going to be dropped.
Yeah, that looked like Gonzalez was the intended receiver. Would have been short of the sticks, but it would have given them a decision. I don't think there's a decision now, and John Holmes doesn't think so either. Here comes the punting unit. So that's not what you needed there if you're Rockledge, a 3 and out at all.
I'll say, if you got to tip your cap if you're Heritage. They've been playing really aggressive on the defensive end, obviously haven't surrendered any points. And then on the offensive side, they've been playing pretty well, pretty efficiently. Again, we mentioned in the pregame, 15 points per game, not really going to cut it. They're already at 21, looking out onto some more.
Well, it's a Mark Ainsley defense. It's fast, it's physical, it's well coached, and you're seeing all of that here so far really throughout the game. I know the 6 is a bit of a misnomer, right, because that wasn't on them.
It's true. This punt is going to be beautiful spiral inside the 40. Decent punt from Rockledge. See if Heritage can make something out of it. Breaking the initial tackle out to about the 43-yard line before he's finally wrapped around.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad there, the operation and the coverage. Maybe his best kick of the night in the air as we have another injury. I think this is another cramp for a Heritage player. Just illustrates how humid it is outside here and also how hard these players are playing. You may see, the second half, we're getting into some water that we haven't been in here, at least early on in the season. Obviously, first game, and let's hope everybody's okay.
Yeah, and Roman Stalls, number 23. First time we've called his name on the kickoff. Was able to get a few out of that one.
While we have this injury break, want to once again shout out Best Private Investigations. When you need answers, experience and discretion matter. Best Private Investigations provides accurate, timely information you can trust for child custody matters, suspected infidelity, background checks, asset investigations, identity theft, and civil or criminal cases. Owner and Chief Investigator Greg Buttrick is a retired law enforcement officer with 25 years of service and extensive experience in surveillance and investigative reporting. His team brings backgrounds in law enforcement, the military, security, and operations management. And Best Private Investigations was voted Melbourne's Best Private Investigation Agency from 2019 through 2024. Call 321-508-4492 or visit their Melbourne office at 635 East New Haven Avenue, Suite 609. Best Private Investigations. When you need the truth, trust the professionals. I took a little too long with that ad read. I apologize.
No, you're all good. Incomplete pass to Brandon Taylor. Bring up second down. Heritage will set up camp at the 43-yard line. Pretty decent field position for them. They've kind of been, I'd say, winning the field position battle. It's kind of been, both of them been standing up around the 34-yard line.
Certainly since the early portion of the game, right? Heritage was backed up. We saw the touchdown come off of it. But since then, Heritage has been creeping and creeping and creeping. And total yardage, frankly, we're not keeping stats up here. I think total yardage is probably starting to get a bit one-sided in favor of the Panthers.
Panthers are putting together long drives. Rockledge is having some struggles with 3 and outs. Slightly delayed handoff to the aforementioned Taylor. He'll get a few, but it'll set up a third down and long.
He's played a really good game in that terrier for Rockledge is Marcel Evans, number 52. Once again, he's on the play. Rockledge's defensive line has been pretty good. They've gotten good penetration. They've created tackles for loss. Pressure on Borhe. they've lived up to the billing.
Third down trips to the bottom of your screen. He's going to roll to his right. Fires, and that's caught. That's going to be a first down. That's going to move the chains. King Royal with the reception. That's good for a best private investigation. First down.
Yeah, and a well-designed play there, wide open. Reggie Clark lays the hit, and then he comes up a little bit gimpy. It looks like he's going to try and stay in there. That's a first down into Rockledge territory. Best private investigator first down, excuse me.
Handoff up the middle. That's going to be number 22, Sivone Parrish.
And now inside 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, 138 as we call it here. This is where you begin to want to drain some clock if you're Heritage. You're up 2 scores. You're in Rockledge territory. And this is where you begin to check the pulse of your team if you're Rockledge. How are they going to respond here right now? Are they going to continue to fight? Let's find out.
That's why establishing that run game early was so important. Give it back to Johnson. He trips over his own 2 feet. He'll barely, I don't even think he'll get back to the line of scrimmage.
A little bit of room out there. Could have been a positive gain, but the turf monster got him. And we'll see if Rockledge can take advantage of that break. I think an incomplete pass here would lead to a Heritage punt. So this is an opportunity for Rockledge to get off the field here.
Whatever you do, you just got to keep it in front. Can't allow a big-time completion. It'll be officially 3rd down and 10 from the 49-yard line of the Raiders. 45 seconds to go in our third quarter of action. Heritage leads Rockledge 21-6. We're going to add on some more. Put this one away. Borhe taking his time. He'll take the snap. Hook to his right. Pump fake. Fires through some defenders, but dropped. That will be Antonio Flowers. So like you said, incomplete pass. Going to lead to a Heritage punt.
Boy, that was a really nice layered throw. I know it was incomplete, but you know, you talk about, hey, let's get excited about Borhe. That throw was why. Under pressure, between 2 defenders there, and Rockledge dropped off in coverage there late. They showed him something different. He was able to read where that defense was, put it right there, maybe just a bit off, as actually we see Flowers a bit gimpy. Well, you wonder if that's a cramp. But certainly a lot to like from Borhe tonight, even though he has had some turnover issues. But certainly the talent is there. The talent is there on this Heritage offense to average more than 15 points a game this year.
Oh, 100%. Like we said, they have quite the arsenal. They have arsenal in the backfield. They have arsenal of receivers, tight ends. I think they really, once they start gelling together, because they've been a couple of mistiming things and things of that nature and ball security. But once they're gelling, I think this could be easily a 20-point per game, maybe 25-point per game offense.
And you give Rockledge a nod there, too. I know it was a bit of an unforced error of sorts, but Rockledge has hung on again defensively when it looks like they could have let go of the rope. And this is a poor snap. Look out.
He's going to have to try and make something out of here. He's going to get blown up in the backfield, and that Rockledge is going to start in plus territory, one of the better field positions they've had tonight.
Well, you figure the offense might have needed a break. There's your break. You're going to start, as we've got another player there, is Zion Lavior, who looks gimpy. I'll tell you what, the cramping is something out here in the second half. But, you know, Raiders with 16 seconds to go in the third quarter, okay, you're in plus territory. What can you do with it?
Yeah, they're going to get at least one play off here. See if they can get some momentum going again. Still only down 15. It's still doable, but they're going to have to start getting farther.
You can still run this football. I don't think you have to get, especially with Kemmerling, you don't want to leave him back up there as a sitting duck. You don't know about his mobility. You could still run this football, especially starting in plus territory with a whole fourth quarter to go.
Kemmerling back under center again. Got a motion man in the backfield. They'll pitch it to him.
This is Gonzalez. They're going
to
try
to
that
reverse course again, and
it was
just gets blown up.
They tried it again, and you give them the nod for wanting to get Gonzalez involved, right? He's your playmaker. He's your guy. But the stuff behind the line of scrimmage isn't really working.
And Jaden Calderon responsible for that one. As we've reached the end of the third quarter, Heritage adding on to their lead, 21-6. And we'll take a quick break ourselves. When we come back, the fourth quarter of action here on Brevard Sports Network between Heritage and Rockledge.
Hi, I'm Christy Lindback with Compass, your East Coast real estate expert. When it comes to selling your home, experience and strategy matter. My team and I make sure every detail is handled, so you get top dollar and a stress-free experience. We bring in professional stagers, high-end photographers, and cinematic videographers to showcase your home at its best. Because every showing starts online and we make sure your home stands out. With consistent communication, strong negotiation skills, and local market expertise, I guide you every step of the way. Because here in Brevard, when it comes to real estate, Chrissy knows. Ready to buy or sell in Brevard? Visit Chrissy Knows and let's get started.
Welcome back to Brevard Sports Network presentation of Friday Night Lights. We are here at Heritage High School, where the fourth quarter is beginning on our Kickoff Classic, and Heritage is firmly in the driver's seat. Rockledge looking to come back. It's 21-6. One quarter to go.
A tough play on first down. They're going to fake that motion to Gonzalez again. There are 4 guys out there, and it doesn't matter because Ford is loose. Unbelievable.
I mean, we were talking about Kemmerling's arm and unleashing it on that one in quadruple coverage and then breaking the tackles is Ford. One play, and Rockledge is right back in this one.
I tell you what, when he threw that ball, I was like, goodness, there's
Oh,
4 guys back there. But we talked about how special Matt Ford was.
Yeah.
You saw it.
Not only to make the catch, but to break a couple tackles. Again, 4-to-1 ratio down there, but it all took is one big play, and Rockledge all of a sudden is knocking on the door of a one-possession game. Still plenty of time to go.
Now, I think they're going to go for this, which is not ideal, but after we saw the first kick, I think you got to. We really haven't seen a Rockledge short yardage for the most part tonight.
See if they can convert. If they don't, something to note, it will still be a 2-possession game. So this is big right here for the Raiders. Up the middle, struggling, fighting for the end zone. He's able to get in. And just like that, Rockledge is down 7.
I feel the same way about that I felt about Lee's. I think he may have been short, but the referee says it's good, and it's 21-14 Heritage. I mean, how about that? Give the Rockledge Raiders the nod. Give Kemmerling the nod for coming back in and throwing an absolute strike to Matt Ford. And we have a football game in Palm Bay, Florida.
That's what we've been waiting to see all night long, the arm talent of Kemmerling, and he unleashed a dime on that one. And again, like you said, Rockledge just hung around. They made timely defensive stops, and in a game that has been dominated by Heritage, especially in the ground game, you look up, and it's a one-possession game. They just got to get one more stop and one more touchdown.
We just got done with the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you see a goal scored and sort of a smash and grab out of the blue. That was kind of that, honestly. There was nothing to indicate that was coming. When on 2nd and 20, faking to get the defense's eyes on Gonzalez, and it was, frankly, pretty good coverage. But it's just a really good pitch and catch there.
As that one's going to go out of bounds. So, bit of a 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards for Rockledge. That's going to be a penalty.
It's not considering where they've been starting out on the kickoffs, it's not the all-time worst thing.
This is true.
But a bit not what you want if you're Coach John Holmes, especially considering Heritage has had some issues fielding the kickoff tonight. Both teams have.
You can see Heritage they can't let their foot off the gas now. Do you turn to the running game? Do you try and put it in the hands of Voorhees? You try to play conservative, aggressive? What did you call?
I lean on the run game. I think, you look at Lee and Johnson. I think you can get 4 to 5 yards carry most attempts here. The big thing, I know we just had what we had. I still want to make Rockledge offense drive the length of the field on me, so you don't want to help them out. We saw that turnover. Maybe give them a little bit of life, even though we had that loss on the play before the touchdown. But here, I think, what the doctor ordered here is like some 6-minute drive where you lean on the ground game.
Be interesting to see. This is a huge pivotal drive for Heritage and Rockledge. That first one will be Lee. Get about a couple. Be 2nd down to about 8.
Looked like Jalen Blackman among the Raiders on the stop here. And stop me if you've heard this before. I think we have another cramp.
Yeah, you still hate to see it, but you're glad it's only cramps. It could be, obviously a lot worse. But, again, it's just some of that conditioning, getting back into game speed and all those things.
While we have this timeout, want to shout out Chrissy Landbake, realtor. Looking to buy or sell a home? Call Chrissy Landbake, a full-time realtor, multi-million-dollar producer, and one of Brevard's top 100 residential real estate agents. With more than 20 years of experience in real estate, finance, and insurance, Chrissy will listen to your needs and help you achieve your goals. Call Chrissy today at 321-591-3615. When it comes to Brevard County real estate, Chrissy knows. Visit chrissyknows.com. We also want to shout out Coastal Strength and Barbell. Ready to get fit, become healthier, or build serious strength? Let Isaac Bermudez and Coastal Strength and Barbell guide you. Isaac is a certified personal trainer, strength and conditioning specialist, and certified powerlifting and USA weightlifting coach. Coastal Strength and Barbell is also a preferred vendor for the Brevard County School Board and an official weightlifting club for Brevard County Schools. Train in an affordable, supportive family atmosphere. Call 321-604-1798 or visit coastalstrengthandbarbell.com. Coastal Strength and Barbell, balance is key. As we see the young man walking off on his own power for Heritage. It's good to see.
Looks like that's number 25, Drayvon Lee. That could be a big loss for them.
Yes.
Especially because they're trying to grind this clock down. Second down 8 from the 37. Motion man.
Great
fires.
call.
It's caught. It's going to get a few yards. That's number 2, Brandon Taylor. Set up a third down and manageable.
And we have, it was a great play made by a member of the Raiders secondary, and he's down.
While we have a break in the action, we want to thank Cape Coast Volleyball Club. Cape Coast Volleyball Club develops more than great volleyball players. It develops confident athletes and strong young people. Through athlete-centered coaching, Cape Coast teaches teamwork, leadership, responsibility, resilience, and sportsmanship in a positive, competitive environment. With beginner clinics, elite training, and competitive teams, Cape Coast offers programs for athletes of every age and skill level. Visit Cape Coast at 7740 Technology Drive in West Melbourne, or learn more at capecoastvolleyball.com. Cape Coast Volleyball, building better athletes on and off the court.
Obviously all injuries are a shame. This was a fantastic play. It was a really good call on some pressure, and this looked like they had a chance to really bust. And he made a fine play, but unfortunately he's injured. Let's hope it's a cramp. It looked like they're working on his lower extremity. Don't want to speculate on who it is. We can't see the number from here, but obviously a member of the secondary. And the young man's going to walk back to the sideline on his own power, limping. Let's hope he's okay. So now we've got 3rd and 3, Brian.
Yeah, it's a big-time play here. Only a 1 minute gone by in the fourth quarter. Definitely need to avoid the 3 and out here if you're Heritage, because Rockledge has all the momentum, especially on that deep shot of the last play.
Yeah, it's a big play suddenly.
Or he jumps back to pass. He fires, threads the needle. Beautiful pass to King Royal. That's going to move the chains, and that's going to be a best private investigation first down.
I was a little surprised they threw like similarly to the 4th and 2, but really a nice pass there. You called it, threading a needle. It looked like finding a soft spot in the zone there, and a big first down. Here comes tempo for Heritage.
Bit surprised by the tempo. I imagine they tried to slow it down just a little bit. Delayed handoff, last second. He pulls out, loses it. Was able to recover it. Almost a dangerous play. Heritage is able to recover and gain about nothing out of that one.
Yeah, that was nearly disastrous there. The ball popped up in the air, fortunately, right back into the arms of the quarterback. But nonetheless, going to be second and long for Heritage. And it looked like we had another Rockledge defender lift off. This is really, really unfortunate for both sides.
And if you're Rockledge, all you need is one break like that to go your way. It's a bit of a muffed snap, a quick interception. You just need one break to go your way defensively, and then you got all the momentum in your camp.
Yeah, if they get this ball back down 7 points, the Spirits are going to soar on the Rockledge sideline.
Or he takes the snap, fake the handoff, he'll roll out to his left. Fires a little bit too high for Fralin. And now all of a sudden it's 3rd down and long, 10 minutes to go. Rockledge can get off the field here. They can have plenty of time to tie this one up.
Yeah, kind of a similar play to the touchdown earlier, the bootleg to the reverse side of the field. It was open for a positive gain, just couldn't quite connect. And here's your moment here if you're the Rockledge defense. If you can get off the field here, and I think you would with an incomplete pass, this game's going to get really interesting.
Heritage needs 7. Voorhees drops back, fires across the middle. That one's going to be caught. He finds a soft spot in the defense. It's Taylor. That one moves the chains. Another impressive throw from Christian Voorhees.
Oh, that's fantastic ball awareness there from Taylor, finding the soft spot. He's able to anticipate the throw, and we've seen that's been the story of the game. 3rd and 10, that long pass. 4th and 20-something, the touchdown pass, and then 3rd and long there. When Heritage has needed a big play, it's been from the arm of Voorhees.
I mean, we saw that a bit earlier in the 3rd quarter. He found a soft spot in the defense, couldn't connect. They go back to that similar style of play, and this time it works.
Coach Holmes trying to blunt some of that momentum here. He's going to burn a timeout. I believe that's the first timeout for Rockledge with 9:49 to go in regulation. Heritage leads 21-14, trying to go up 2 scores on a fairly stout Rockledge team.
Yeah, absolutely. And, again, it's just been a very back-and-forth 4th quarter. Every single time that Heritage needs to make a timely play, Voorhees specifically answers, finding the likes of Brandon Taylor on that last one. But also King Royal has been a focal part of this offense in the 4th quarter. Really, Voorhees just been spreading the love around to a plethora of different receivers.
Yeah, I think that both teams are going to be able to take some things from this positively, regardless of what happens in the last 9:49. I think the doomsday, projections for Rockledge have not come true thus far. I think they've acquitted themselves quite well, and I think Heritage is demonstrating that they're looking more explosive on the offensive side of the ball with a great defense as well.
Once Rockledge finds their footing on offense, they're going to be dangerous. Voorhees fires across the middle. That's going to be Royal again. Another big chunk play, and now the kid from New York is really finding his groove, really finding his rhythm.
Yeah, I think rhythm is the key word there. He's really settling in. Got those quick drops and really having a good connection there with King Royal, the sophomore wide receiver there, making his mark on this game.
Heritage in no hurry here as the clock is under in single digits, 9 minutes to go. Motion man is Fralin. They'll hand it off to Johnson. He'll cut out to the right side, now cut back into the middle. Ball's loose. Rockledge has it.
Oh, my gosh.
Or, excuse me, Voorhees able to recover it somehow. Hold on, we're going to have to see if the officials here. That's a crazy play. Rockledge had 2 defenders right next to the ball. Christian Voorhees slides right in there. And it looks like...
It looked for all the world that not only was Rockledge going to recover it, but it looked like Rockledge might recover it and scoop and score and tie this game. They couldn't quite corral it. Now, they're not going to call a change of possession. I don't think Rockledge ever had it.
No.
So that's going to at least make it 3rd and long. But ball security, again, has been a huge theme in this game.
But if you're Rockledge, that's killer because, like you said, maybe he saw green grass in front of him, got a bit too ahead of himself. In that moment, you got to just fall on it because that's a big-time momentum play. Momentum's a real thing in sports. And if you're able to get that ball, you're looking at about maybe 60 yards to go, trusting your offense coming off a big-time play. Be 3rd down and long. Voorhees drops back. Pocket collapsing, fires, and he's able to thread the needle to Wesley Gulliam. That's going to be cool. I believe, is that close to the 1st down? It might be a 1st down. Another big play from Voorhees. I mean, can I give him the nickname yet? Big play Voorhees. I don't know. Is it too early in the season for that?
Well, it's another killer sequence for Rockledge to go from thinking you had a turnover to another 3rd and long conversion. And one thing we really haven't talked too much about tonight, the play of this Heritage offensive line. They're giving Voorhees pretty good time to throw the ball, and that's what you need, obviously, on 3rd and long conversions.
Voorhees drops back. He's going to fire in the backfield. That one's smothered. Johnson has no chance on that one. It looks like it's going to be number 15, Terrence Welch. He just read that play like a book.
And I think that was a lateral. That could have been dangerous as well. That was real close to being whether it was forward or backwards. You got to give this Rockledge defense a huge amount of credit here. Coach John Holmes and his staff, they've really hung in here tonight.
Be marked at a loss of 10. 2nd and 20, 7 minutes to go. Heritage holds on to a slim lead at 21-14. Rockledge right back in this one. Looking to get a stop here. He drops back, fires across the middle. He finds Fralin, and he breaks the first initial tackle, gets met in the middle, but that's going to be another huge gain. He is dicing up this Rockledge defense right now.
They've certainly found some weakness in the Rockledge secondary, and you wonder if Rockledge isn't going to think about bringing more pressure here. Now it's tougher in a third and shorter distance situation, but Voorhees really settled down into a rhythm here. He looks great.
Yeah, and you said when they started this drive, they need a solid 6-minute drive.
Here we are.
Right now, we're approaching the 5-minute mark on this drive, and they're threatening in the close to the red zone.
Yeah, 6:23 to go in the fourth quarter.
He rolls out to his left. He's going to take his time. He's going to unload for the end zone. Jump ball, incomplete. 4th down.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they went for it all, considering how much success they've had with the intermediate passing game, but I think we're going to get a water break here before 4th down. And that's going to give Coach Ainsley – now, we saw that field goal attempt earlier. A field goal would go a long way towards getting a W for Heritage here. But it is a fairly long kick, so it'll be interesting to see what they do here.
Yeah, they'll take a water break. We'll take a break ourselves here. 6:12 to go. Decision time at Heritage between Rockledge and the Panthers here on this Kickoff Classic. Welcome back to the Brevard Sports Network. It's decision time in Heritage, and they're going to roll the dice. They're leaving the offense on the field, 4th and 6.
Yeah, I don't hate this, and we were having a discussion during the break here. I think this is a fine call, right? You've had such success converting these types of situations. Why not go back?
He drops back to pass. He's going to fire across the middle. It's Fralin. It's touchdown, Heritage. The Panthers have insurance.
And it's Fralin once again. The man scoring his 2nd touchdown of the evening, and that one, again, we've harped on it over and over again, just a backbreaker for Rockledge. They cannot get the big stop on 3rd and 4th and long.
Bit of a delayed reaction there. I thought he might have gotten stopped at the 1. I didn't know, but, they've been, like we said, they've been pretty lenient on scores and such when we thought they were down close, but, again, that's a huge play from Fralin.
That was another
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I held off there.
Now, we should say the referees are closer than us. So.
This is true. But again, that's a huge backbreaker if you're Rockledge and huge in charge if you're Heritage.
Yeah, especially when you look back at the fumble.
Field goal is up, or excuse me, PAT is up and good. 6:04 to go. Heritage doubling up Rockledge.
Yeah, I think you can be positive about a lot of things for Rockledge tonight, but there certainly are plenty of missed opportunities. And I think that's one thing you can stress is a good thing if you're Rockledge, and that you had Heritage in these situations. If you just get off the field, even if you get off on half of them, this game is close. If not, you got the lead right now. So that's frustrating. You really like the rhythm of the passing game that has settled in here for Heritage. We talked a lot about how they're traditionally running the ball, play defense, grind it out. They've got a new dimension here.
Yeah, and honestly, Fralin kind of feeling like that security blanket type of big body receiver there for Voorhees, calling in his 2nd touchdown pass of the game. Both, I should mention, on 4th down. He has a knack for the big play.
Yeah, he's been clutch tonight, and it's really exciting for the young man. Beyond the fact it's his first game on a football field, think about it. He went to a new school for the first time on Monday, so it's been quite a transformation week. All these young men going to a new school, not a new school, but having their first day of school this week. So we talk a lot about the football aspect of it, but it's kind of been a whirlwind week when you think about it. So you could understand why there might be some jitters or some ball security issues. And frankly, the procedure penalties have been somewhat held to a minimum, I would say here. That's been actually fairly impressive.
Yeah, that's a good point. We haven't really had to talk about many holding penalties, pass interference. So you're right. It's been a pretty clean game laundry-wise. got to tip your cap, especially considering it's week 0.
There was some sort of a penalty on Rockledge because Heritage is going to kick off from Rockledge territory.
Right. So we're talking about penalties and how clean it was.
So much for that. Likely some sort of personal foul, obviously after the play. I think. I didn't see one on the extra point. Did you?
No, but again, like you said earlier, the referees are a lot closer than us, so it must have been something they picked up.
You can get cute if you want here. You can just bang this out of the end zone. That's what they're going to do.
Second touchback of the night. Rockledge offense is kind of do or die here. They got to get something quick. They got to get a touchdown, a stop, and another touchdown all in the span of 6 minutes.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I'm not sure there's any point in punting.
True.
You don't have time for 3 possessions. You may not have time for 2, but you certainly don't have time for 3. So I know you want to be a team with balance, and I don't know how his health will allow it. But at this point, look, your last pass was a bomb for a touchdown. Air it out. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, if there's any time to see what you've got in the arm strength of Kemmerling, coming off of that last touchdown pass, you're going to want to try and keep up that momentum, and you need deep shots. Might as well go for it. And give credit to Heritage. They took off about 5 minutes of that clock, scored a touchdown, did exactly what they needed to do to put themselves in a more secure position. First play is going to be a run, breaking a couple tackles, getting out to the left side, and he'll get close to that first down marker. Solid run to start the drive.
Yeah, it's a solid run, and that's really all. I believe that was Emerson on the run. They've rotated in the backfield, but you got to play with some tempo. You can't take 30 seconds between plays here.
Got to run that no huddle, hurry up offense.
And you wonder how much of that at week 0 with a new quarterback they necessarily have installed at this point. This is taking far too long.
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much urgency as you need if you're Rockledge. Kemmerling, delayed handoff, and that one's smothered in the backfield. All the progress he initially gained is lost, and a flag on the field. See, maybe this might be a face mask.
Yeah, it's in that general vicinity.
That would be a huge bailout if you're the Raiders.
Clock is still running. I don't know why. The clock is ticking under 5 minutes now. There we go. Now it's stopped. And you are right, Brian. It was a face mask. And that's a big play for Rockledge. Not only that, they get to advance the ball with the clock theoretically stopped. And it'll be first down.
I got to give my credit to Caleb. He was pulling the face mask or the imaginary face mask. So
Caleb's had it called right.
He was there on that one. Yeah,
he is. I know you can't see it at home or wherever you may be watching, but Caleb is Johnny on the spot with all of this, all while putting together this great broadcast that you're seeing again wherever you're watching.
So a huge bailout for the Raiders. 5 minutes to go. Right around midfield, right around where they had that last deep shot touchdown. Don't know if they try to air it out again, but it'll be interesting to see what Kemmerling does. Three receivers to the bottom of your screen. Looks like it'll be Emerson in the backfield again. Motion man is Gonzalez. We'll see what they do with that.
This could be a pass.
And he's going to unload. He's got wide open. And that was going to be Matt Ford again. He's going to go all the way. And Rockledge gets the big play. Once again, back within 1.
Who says you don't bust out trick plays in the Kickoff Classic? How about that bit of trickeration? Once again, Rockledge out of nowhere. And once again, it's Matt Ford. We've talked about Mike Gonzalez and Matt Ford all night. That time they combine. And somehow, some way, with 4:57 to go, Rockledge trails just by 8. How about that from the plucky Raiders?
Well, I think they're kind of listening to us up here because we said 5-minute drive for Heritage, 5-minute drive. We said they're going to need a quick one off of a deep pass. Rockledge gets it. So I don't know what we want to predict next, but we've had a pretty good track record the last couple drives.
Now, first thing is they're going for 2. Now, this is not the analytics let's go for 2 thing that has ridiculously invaded the NFL. This is more out of necessity here after we saw the first extra point. They're in that power formation again.
If you're able to take this and then theoretically get a stop and a touchdown, you're talking about a potential chance for the win. 2 in the backfield. Kemmerling hands it off up the middle, and he's met by a swarm of black jerseys. No good is the 2-point conversion. It's an 8-point game. They'll have to settle for the tie if they're to get the ball back.
Yeah, so a couple things there. First, looked like the same play they got the conversion on last time, same formation, everything like that. Second, and we don't know the answer to this, in the event they did tie, I don't know if we're going to overtime or not. That's
Caleb?
a good question, Caleb.
Allegedly, per Caleb Brown, overtime does exist in Kickoff Classic. You'll have to stick around to find out if we're going to find that out ourselves.
I wonder if it's a coach's agreement type thing. Maybe you have to do it before, or maybe you get to that point after the game. You could make a case with how much cramping there's been and the fact you got a game to play next week. But I think if this game was tied, gosh, I think the competitor of these kids, especially with the going at the 10-yard line, Caleb's smiling like you're crazy. Look, everybody gets a trophy here. Come on.
I mean, hey, I agree with you. As a competitor in me, I would 100% want to go for it, but it's kind of, it could be a safety issue. I kind of get it. But it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. We went from a bit of a one-sided affair for the first 3 quarters to now we got a ball game on our hands here in this 4th quarter.
Oh, we sure do. And Rockledge is going to get yet another chance here. That ball is not fair caught either.
Going to get just to below the 40. And something of note, something interesting, Drayvon Lee, Alex Fralin, Matt Ford, each have 2 touchdowns here tonight. Really, 3 players have been responsible for pretty much all the scores tonight. We'll see if anyone can come up with a hat trick, but those 3 players really been standing out, really been carrying the load, at least when it comes to finding the end zone.
Yeah, and really unfortunate when you have one player of the game award to give out. So we're going to have to, hopefully someone distances themselves here in the last 5 minutes. Obviously, if Rockledge were to win, that would do that. But gosh, Heritage has been really balanced, thinking about spreading out with their weapons here. And obviously, Rockledge has had a couple big plays here in the second half to make it interesting.
Plenty of mouths to feed for Heritage, but Christian Borhe has done just that, and a little bit more. We'll have to potentially go for a game-sealing drive here as Lee is met in the backfield. He gets swarmed. You see a plethora of white jerseys.
Yeah, that's Evans again. Evans has been absolutely fantastic in the middle of that run game tonight. There's a lot of guys on that Rockledge front have been good. Lavior again in on the stop. And that was a great group tackle there. Set up second long, but here we are again. Can they stop him here?
Can they get off the field? That's the big question. They can get him into these tough positions. 14, 4 minutes to go. If they're able to force a 3-and-out, very real possibility they'll get the ball back with 2 minutes left. Borhe pump fakes, fires, and that's Royal. It's caught across the middle. It's going to be close to that first down marker. We about 3rd down and I think 4.
Yeah.
Very interesting position here.
It is interesting. I think they got a bit of a raw deal on the spot there. I thought I got a couple more yards than that.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's going to be 3rd and 3, and this is a very interesting call here. Under 4 minutes, 3:50 to go. 3rd and 3. Are you throwing it or are you running it?
I'm throwing it. They've really had a lot of success, especially on that last drive. I'm throwing it. Borhe hands off to Lee. He's able to get just across that first down marker and a little bit more. He keeps the legs short and continue. It takes a whole host of Raiders to bring him down. That'll be a huge first down for Heritage. Now, mind you, game is not over, but that's a back-breaking first down for Rockledge. They're going to need to play pretty perfect these last 3.5 minutes.
Rockledge has 2 timeouts remaining, so they can still make it happen with a stop here. You maybe can give up one more first down depending on the order of operations here, but you're going to want to get this ball back pretty soon, obviously, if you're the Raiders.
The more time for your offense, the better. Although they have shown they can score just like that, don't really need that much time. Borhe, he's going to fire, and that one's going to be caught. Antonio Flowers, and this offense is working like a well-oiled machine. Christian Borhe is really seeing the ball well in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, I love their RPO options there. He had Fralin in the flat if he wanted to, but he obviously went with the superior option there further down the field. And really nice play call there, throwing on first down. And it's going to be really tough for Rockledge now to get a stop here.
And it's only week 0. There's going to be hiccups throughout the season, but it's really been fun to watch Christian Borhe figure this offense out in real time this game. King Royal on the reception. He's able to take it upfield for a few more yards.
You talk about ball distribution there.
Yeah.
We're calling different numbers on the end of these passes.
I caught at least like 8 different receiver, running back, tight ends, etc. Really talk about playmakers for Voorhees at his disposal. 3 minutes on the clock.
Still 2 timeouts for the Raiders, but they better. I would suggest that they think about getting a stop on this series.
You could tell it's getting a little dicey here. Do or die. Get a stopper. Hopefully a turnover. Botch snap, but Voorhees been ironing that out pretty well. The pitch out to Lee. Lee's able to make a few yards out of that one. Should be second down and about medium.
Still no timeouts. Holmes saying you're not going to take a timeout until you have to take a timeout. So this is fine. Well, we're going to have a whistle as soon as I say that. Has he called it? He did call it. He waited a little bit to call it. 2:22 left to go. 1 timeout now for the Raiders. It's second down. So he's saying he's putting all his stock into this stop here. If they don't get the stop, the game's over.
Yeah, and it's still a dicey drive, but really would get real if Rockledge is able to get this football back. While we have a stop in the action, we'd like to thank Gillen, and Lindbeck. If you've been injured, experience matters. At Gillen, and Lindbeck, you work directly with your attorney, not a call center or case manager. Eric Gillen and Chris Lindbeck bring more than 48 years of combined Brevard County legal experience and prepare every case as if it's going to trial. The firm has recovered millions for injury victims, and if you don't win, you don't pay an attorney's fee. Call 321-729-1444 or visit BrevardInjuryLaw.com. Gillen, and Lindbeck, fighting for every dollar you're owed.
.222 to go in the fourth quarter.
Second and 7 from the 32. He takes the snap. He fakes the handoff. Dumps it down to Fralin. Fralin cuts it to the middle, and that's going to be another first down. Move the chains again on the Panthers, and you could feel it coming close here as we approach the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, it's going to be close to doing it, if not in actuality. That's the play, ironically, the Heritage scored their first touchdown on, that bootleg to the right side. And there's our man again, Alex Fralin, out in the flat, a tight end, putting what may be the finishing touches on this one.
And again, we go back to him being clutch. That one wasn't a fourth down catch, but it was still just as important to this game. Fralin's been a huge part of their offense tonight. This one's going to be handed up the middle, and that's going to be about a 5 or 6 yard gain. It's going to be Parrish.
And there's a timeout right on that. That's Rockledge's last timeout. So if they were to stop, you wouldn't think Heritage would throw this ball again. If they could stop Heritage twice, you might get the ball back with mere seconds to go. But we've seen stranger things happen.
Yep, absolutely.
Throw it up to Ford.
Again, it's the Kickoff Classic. Anything can happen, but you got to imagine, especially with how well they've been running the football, no reason to take it out of your back's hands if you're Heritage.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially from a ball security, we've seen enough ball security things tonight. Might not be a bad time to say, to bring this up here. It looks like we're trending towards a Heritage win. Who's your player of the game?
Oh, it's a tough one. It's obviously between Fralin and Drayvon Lee. For me personally, both having a couple touchdowns. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to give it to Fralin. Just the timely nature of both of the touchdowns, both coming on fourth down, and both coming at key pivotal points of the game, down 6, versus trying to put their team up 2 possessions. I think Fralin gets it for me.
And he just sealed the game there potentially
That's true.
with that bootleg play. So, yeah, Caleb, what do you think? We've put Caleb on the spot.
1:42 to go. Second and 7 from the 20-yard line. Voorhees motions the back. He drops back. They're going to pass. Scrambles out. Going to be a holding. He's going to unload to the end zone. And that one's going to be intercepted. Rockledge might have some life here. Oh, that's the last thing you wanted if you're Voorhees. Did they blow this play dead? Ooh, it's a big-time call here. I mean, that's the last thing you want if you're bored. Not only the hold is going to set you back, but it's unloading a dangerous pass.
I think this is going to be – why on earth are you throwing there?
Yeah, I mean, you got 100 seconds to go. The only really way you can
this is going to be a turnover. Heritage's defense is coming on the field.
That's just brutal. That's brutal. I mean, all you had to do was run the football. They're out of timeouts. There's 100 seconds to go. I don't know why you're going for the end zone there.
So this is going to be Rockledge football. Now, they are really backed up. But they've got a minute 28 here.
Yeah, backed up with time beats trying to get a stop with no timeouts to go. I mean, again, they got to go to the length.
Did you want to work on something are you
again, going the length of the football field is not ideal, but the fact that they even have this ball. The fact they even have this ball with 90 seconds to go.
And so no timeouts. Obviously the run game's out, you would think.
Yeah.
But backed up.
See what Kemmerling could do
Throw it
here.
up to Ford. See what happens.
Quick check down.
That's a drive starter.
That's going to get a few. They're going to have to run the hurry-up offense. We'll see how Kemmerling can now run the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, that's Ford over on that near side. You may see, I wonder if they don't leave that safety over there and make sure they got two guys on him. Minute 8 left.
Need a bit more urgency here.
No.
And they're going to hand it off. They're going to get some yards, but I really don't understand the play call on that one.
You just don't have time to do that. I know it's great. You got a first down, but
yeah, minutes to go here.
You need to go 80-something yards in a minute.
Rockledge needs some urgency. Just squandered too much time and got to work out the kinks of this 2-minute drill.
You wonder how much practice he's had in a 2-minute drill here.
50 seconds to go. A lot of wasted time if you're Rockledge. Kemmerling drops back. He'll unload a deep shot across the middle. Dangerous. That's going to be intercepted, and that'll do it. Heritage looking to take it back all the way. He'll just smartly get out of bounds. That's number 2, Brandon Taylor, and that's just about going to do it for the Kickoff Classic here at Heritage High School.
Yeah, that Heritage secondary has been really good. I don't mind the throw from Kemmerling. You've got to take a chance at that point.
100%.
And, obviously he's had some success. Rockledge has had some success, but that's a tough situation for, even Tom Brady to be in at that point. But you give both teams a nod tonight. Heritage is going to survive. A little shaky at the end there. I'm assuming they're going to survive. I mean, maybe they throw here, but short of that, and they are going to get into victory formation.
And both of these squads, we saw some highlights. We obviously saw some lows too. Week 0, things going to happen. But a lot of good things to take away, but particularly if you're Heritage, again, got to be very excited about the plethora of offensive weapons that new quarterback Christian Borhe has.
Yeah, I'm excited to follow Heritage this season.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in what is a navigable district. And I think you got to be excited if you're Rockledge too, just because of all the turmoil and uncertainty. And I thought they played with a lot of heart tonight. And there's a world where they could have won this game, which would have shocked a lot of people.
Yeah, and you got to give Rockledge credit, specifically on the defense, their resiliency to get timely stops and keep themselves in the game. And then their offense, they found it out just a little bit too late. If they found out maybe, say, the third quarter or late second, we're talking about a different ballgame potentially.
Absolutely. And 2 things I want to say before we get this last kneel down. First, Brian, thank you so much for putting up with me.
No, you've been a lot of fun tonight.
And also, Caleb, thank you so much for doing what you do. And I think I speak for the entirety of everybody watching in the entire county when I say welcome back. It's great to have you back.
Yes, we appreciate you, Caleb. Again, as a trooper, very glad to have him back in the booth. Friday Night Lights are once again the same now with Caleb Brown back in the booth. And Chris, it's been a pleasure to meet you. Great working with you tonight. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clock will expire here. Heritage hangs on in this Kickoff Classic. They defeat the Rockledge Raiders 28-20 in a thrilling game. Chris, final thoughts here.
I think positives from both sides. Obviously sloppy at the beginning and even parts of the second half. But you look at Heritage, I think the arrow is pointing up there. And I think Rockledge really looked like a couple times they could let go of the rope. They never did. And they've got some talent on that team, both the defensive front, the outside. So I think there's things to take care of, or things to be excited about. There's things to take care of as well, because both teams have very tough Week 1 matchups. But good stuff here. I think both teams can walk away pretty satisfied with the Kickoff Classic.
Absolutely. And we had a really great one. That fourth quarter was a true spectacle. But again, Heritage walks away victorious, 28-20. Week 0, next week, we get to do it for the real thing. But as for Brian, I've been Brian Kelly, joined alongside Chris Bonanno and Caleb Brown.